It's Basetradetv.
All right. Hello. Sorry for that cough. That part wasn't supposed to be unmuted. But hello and welcome to the Ting Open Season 5 qualifiers, where we actually have Ting Open Season 5 qualifiers. Oh my god. The last, two times we tried to go live with this, we had some problems with players participating. Europe does not disappoint. We got a huge bracket, we got a lot of really fun names, and I think we're gonna have a really good qualifier for today. Thank you, Weavist, for the 5-month resub. Glad to have you back, man. But there we go. Okay, I'm done playing the mute game today. I should have put a microphone emote. All you missed was me complaining that my nose was stuffed up, which is gonna make today a little difficult. Hopefully nothing too bad, but we have the brackets finalized and quite some interesting matchups. Ooh, a laser. Geralt. Ooh. Ooh. All right, so you guys want to see the brackets? Just type !brackets into the Twitch chat. Yeah, I've been awake for 3 hours. Normally what I do is I wake up an hour before the broadcast, and it's enough time for me to wake up, get warmed up, and ready to go. But these last few weeks, I've had to get up super early just to get my system going, but it doesn't feel like it's going. Ooh, But hopefully, as we start talking about the games, things will get better. Anyways, I see Soul and Poppy Joe as the first match I want to grab here, but there's a lot of good names. Bly versus Solier is another really attractive looking match. Raynor versus Braddock in round 3 possibly, so a lot of fun ones. But we should explain really quick the format to those who don't follow this too easily. It's a pretty simple qualifier. It's single elimination. Honestly, it should be one, done, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Get in and get out, as we only play up to the semifinals. The players who win the semifinals will be the ones to advance into Season 5. We have a lot of invites to do, and a quick little nod to Ting Jesse. I see you lurking in the chat, man. I've talked with Jesse, guys. Per the poor qualifier show up for Korea and North America, we have been discussing alternative plans. He's on board with possibly just inviting people. We don't have that fixed yet. But luckily we have this whole downtime of BlizzCon to get it figured out. Regardless, Europe's qualifiers are pretty much sorted, especially with today giving the last 2. We'll then figure out invites, and we'll, I think I'm going to actually physically see Jesse. I don't know, Jesse, you're going to be at BlizzCon, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, I think you are. We can talk about the final choices there, but anyways, that's just a bit of an update for everybody, because I know Korea is up in the air, North America is up in the air because 2 of the spots were claimed, but 2 were not. Okay, well. Alright, so Soul is currently online, but he's in a ladder match, which is a little awkward, so hopefully he finishes his game in time not to get walked over. But I'm gonna go host this lobby with Poppy Joe and attempt to wait for him. Also, just a quick note. Excuse me. The qualifier, or not the qualifiers, BTSL Season 3 wrapped up yesterday, which felt amazing. But I still owe you guys the third place qualifiers, or the third place match, which didn't get casted, and it's not going to. Loco, I think, might go casted, or somebody might, but those replays have not been sent out yet because Dark still has to resend them to me. They got a little bit broken. The files got corrupted over Skype or something. That's why I hate using Skype. That's why I'm fully off of Skype at this point. So I'm working on getting those replays, but if you guys are subbed, all the replays from the round of 8 to the grand finals are all posted in our Discord server, so you can get access to those pretty easy. Anyways, I'm gonna try messaging Soul here. Give me a sec. See, it's so bad that I actually uninstalled Skype fully from my computer. Like, I am so off of Skype that the only place I have access to it now is on my phone. So give me a sec here while I try and grab him. Yeah, we got a player-only Discord server set up, which has been kind of nice. Working with some people there. What is his name? It's something really weird. Yoder, it's like Polish. Hang on. Ah, it's those things actually prove to be a problem. So you don't. Anyways, I got Soul on my friends list. We'll keep an eye on him, but he's no exception to the rules. He is on the walkover timer right now. He may be possibly disqualified. I would hope not. Bly. Yo, do you guys want to see some Bly? Is that what people are saying? We may swap over. Hang on, let me see where Bly's at. All right, let's swap over to Bly's games. Bye. All right, since you guys spammed so nicely about it, how about some Bly? Bly. You guys want some Bly? All right, Bly is playing Solier. Ready whenever. Good luck. Jesse says I'm jelly. I need to get Neep to switch over to Discord so I can delete that too. Yeah. Skype is just, for me, what finally killed it, what was like the final nail in the coffin of me no longer wanting to use Skype, which sucks because I will legitimately, permanently lose some contacts with people, as not everyone will use Discord, but was when I could no longer use Control F to search conversations for key moments, phrases, or URLs, was the day that I finally said I'm done with this stupid program. Alright, well, you guys can hear the beeps. Game's starting up. I'll see you on Acid Plant. I can't do this today. I can't do this today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You're watching the Ting Open Season 5, powered by Hover. Spawning here in the top left, we have the Teal Zerg. It is Solier. With his opponent in the lower right, the Red Zerg, Bly. You know, any sane person would have just not streamed a lot of these days, but I'm sick. Trying to push myself through it. Do I regret it? Yes. And I think it's finally taking a toll on me today, guys. This mute mic thing has happened 7 times, and we've been live for 10 minutes. 7 times in 10 minutes is not a good ratio. So, my apologies for any hiccups today. At any rate, what was I saying before? Right. Big thing is, for the first time in like 2 years, I have actually new headsets. I've been using the Corsair Voids for a while. No hate. I love those headsets. But 2 years is 2 years, and sweat, oil, you name it, they're kind of gross. So I've got these new ones that are also USB, also onboard sound cards. And my only concern is that I've never had to do audio balancing with these before, as they are brand new. So if anything on the stream sounds odd or off, I know, you hear me say this every stream, but this time it's not about the microphone, it's about the actual audio of the game. Let me know, please, so I can adjust accordingly. I won't be sitting here taking everyone's advice, but if I see enough things saying, oh, it's too loud, it's too quiet, I may look into it. But just explaining ahead of time, so thank you guys in advance. Anyways, Bly, probably favored to win here against Solir. We've actually seen Solir come up for a couple of these qualifiers and off events in the past. Unfortunately, never making a big showing. Maybe the ZVZ will be a specialty to get through. Bly's definitely had some weak points in his ZVZs, and I think it sounds rude to say, but I hope he would agree with me. I think Bly's a much smarter player at ZVZ than he is at playing it. Now that doesn't mean he's bad. Bly's a good ZVZ player. But a lot of the times, Bly's best examples of ZVZ wins have actually come from him coaching and providing advice to other players. Again, not an insult, but just an interesting point to make, because Bly is very smart at this matchup. Artificial Cutie says, Basetradetv, my advice is that you should send me a pair of those headphones so I can help you audio balance them. You know what, dude? If this was like a giveaway month, I would totally be down for hitting you up with this, but not today. Thank you, HeatSync_ for the 39-month resub. Bly's got a bit of a funky wall, but it's one that will get the job done. Queens do plug that gap. Yeah, the wings can't get in here. Man, the one thing is, like, these headphones have got the 6 surround sound, which I don't know I should have on or off or not, but oh, they sound so good. Like, there is so much more bass in these. I don't know how to describe it. It's quite nice. You can hear me gush about them throughout the cast, because, like, I very much so received these in the mail last night, went to bed, because of course I'm sick, I spend most of my time in bed, and unwrapped them this morning to plug them in. So I'm just, you guys are getting the real first-hand experience. These are not sponsored, by the way, or anything. I haven't even said the brand. I'm just saying, these are really nice headphones. Anyways. Blings and the dance of them. Solir has quite a few more supply to work with, but a lot of that's in production right now, so Bly has to kind of withdraw. Getting into the mineral lines and fighting next to a queen was a risky move, but had he been able to kill the queen, that would have been super nice for him. But Bly's playing a pretty normal ZVZ, actually. Back at home, and I know it sounds weird to say normal when you see a Spire as I say this, but I'll stick to my guns because this is Bly's way to play. Solir's the one who's playing a little bit interestingly, in my opinion, and that's with the 1-1 upgrades from Melee. Now, Bly is a guy who will play roaches, he'll do Nidus Worms, he'll do run-bys, he plays ZVZ as you should, but he's also a guy who you've heard me probably reference many times in other casts, specifically about his Mutalisk play. He'll do it versus Protoss too, typically going like 8 mutas or something. Not often a large dedication, but something he's really good at getting map control with. One big thing to note when it comes to ZVZ. Oh, he goes for the cancel. Alright, he sees the big Lingo line and realizes he doesn't have time or the money to invest in the mutas, so he decides to just deal with what's at hand here. I was gonna say though, one thing I really like what Bly does with his mutas, the map control to pick away all those overlords and strip your opponent's vision, make them blind, makes you a stronger player just because you'll be able to see everything like Bly did with those overlords and anticipate what's on the way. But it's not a big deviation, so Bly cancels the Spire. Big whoop-de-doo. He's still going for roaches, he's still getting upgrades, and in fact he's swapped over his tech now to be Tunneling Claws and Burrow, and ooh boy. You guys have seen a lot of these games where Tunneling Claw roaches are just chaos for other Zerg players, and Bly's really good at being the dude who gets like 3 roaches per mineral line and just harasses the hell out of his opponent. I think that Solier could be in a lot of trouble for this, as right now he knows it's roaches. There's no question about that. It's the indication of what's going to pair up with them. And what makes Bly so terrifying is he's not a player you can really... You might be able to try and coin flip, but you can't really blind guess. He's just as likely to use a Spire, or a Nidus Worm, or Tunneling Claw Roaches in any given situation. People are asking about the players. Guys, the best thing I can recommend is just typing ! brackets in the chat. And also, I forgot, we are double dipping today. There's an amateur tournament happening. Thank you, Dears, for posting about it in Twitch chat. It is for Diamond and below. If any of you guys happen to be Diamond League or lower, we have a tournament made just for you. If you participate and win, you'll get $50 worth of paid coaching to the player of your choice. In second place, we'll get a co-op commander code that they would like too. So, I highly recommend and encourage participating, because you can watch the Ting Open while playing the BTSL Amateur. That's the double dip. That's the fun dip. Alright, the spine crawlers were maybe an overreaction. Bly realizing this cancels them too. I like that. Seeing that big army marching down the map was certainly terrifying, but this is something where Solier might have a bigger army supply at the moment. But Bly's will be better over time. The +2 weapons helps a lot with this. And ooh, the Overseer. Gonna see these roaches. Oh, it gets on top of them with the lings, but as you guys can see, roaches heal a lot while they're burrowed. The Zerglings are actually unable to out-damage the healing of the roaches as they walk away, so Bly doesn't end up losing those roaches. They actually survive. Oh, that's good. Oh, lobbing these overlords, grabs one. Overseer in surveillance mode, sees this coming. I'm not sure what Bly was hoping for there. He does push through though, and oh my god, Tunneling Claws. Please, that healing is ridiculous. He's even got +1 melee on the Zerglings, just really highlighting how insane Roach regen is. Speaking of insane, well, there's no banelings in this game. Wolf brings him to the Twitch chat. I'll tell you what, Bly wishes he had that baneling right now to bust through these lings. As they go for this round, they're not really doing a lot of damage, but they're soaking a lot of the auto attacks. So instead of shooting Solier's roaches, Bly's just wasting shots on lings. But Wolf, blow them with banes. You mean up, right? Ooh. It's very, very not safe for stream meaning otherwise. Thank you for the 1,000 bits. That is a hell of a way to start off my morning. Now, the Tunneling Claw Roaches didn't get the insane damage we've seen them do in other highlight matches, but in this case, still 4 workers, distracting a lot of the army and kind of messing with Solier's attention. Not too bad. But Bly's army supply is in a pretty not great spot still. Like, Solier, I actually really like that he has all these Zerglings. He's continuing to invest in them. The amount of damage that they soak and the overkill that the roaches are notorious for, like there's gonna be 8 roaches wasting a shot on a Zergling instead of shooting other roaches. It's a huge damage soak. So right now, oh, the Queens moves out of the wall. Lings do flood into the base. Queens are also not in this ramp. Oh, a double mistake out of Bly. He now has to split some of his roaches, which he doesn't have that many to split in the first place. Third base finally goes up for Bly. He had canceled it twice trying to make this happen, but 19 drones go down. The main base plucked clean. The army surrounded, and Solier is holding everything in place with the Lings, allowing for some of these crystal piles, but more importantly, the roaches to fire upon Bly. This is looking pretty bad for our Red Zerg. I really like Bly, and he's a guy who can make scrappy situations work. I doubt we'll see him tap out as a result of this, but still, taking a lot of losses there, and most importantly through the army, but also through the economy. But the economy side of this does have them now left at somewhat similar workers, so the bigger disadvantage for Bly is the lack of a third. He is continuing to try and run away with his life. I like this move. Unfortunately, though, whether it's running away or standing his ground to fight, he just doesn't have anything to follow up with. Shots and shots and shots. This fight's also not going to go well for Bly as he backs away from this one, too. He does actually Tunneling Claw the roaches into the main base, so they're healing up, but he could probably unburrow them and actually fight the small squad of units that Solier has. However, Bly is very much so paying attention to the right side as he's in full retreat. The roaches continue to split, though, and maybe they'll get some damage done. Or Bly does have 2-2 for upgrades, so any of these small-scale engagements, his roaches will win pretty definitively. Also, Tunneling Claws will allow them to heal up. Some Transfuse is also going to heal up that Spine Crawler. Bly tries to take his third base while this goes on, but unfortunately for him, Solier has played Ring Around the Rosie for the entire map and has chased Bly all the way back home. A couple of spine crawlers are set up, and spine crawlers can go far away here in ZVZ, but Crosabow's landing on them. The Roach is focusing them down pretty quick. Bly's army is just about half, less than half, that of Salir's. GG's get called. Salir, he will take game number 1 in this best of 3. A little surprising. Artificial Cutie says, the in-game sound is a little strange, like it's distant or muffled. Is anyone else feeling this way? Like I said, there's some sound settings with these new headsets I will have to mess with if the default is no good. So don't be shy. Don't be like, it's okay, I don't really mind. I want to have good, crisp sounding audio for you guys to enjoy. That's why I invest and work with great companies to get good equipment, like this not sponsored Rode microphone, which I've really actually been enjoying since I swapped over to it. All right, some people are saying same for me. Some people are saying it sounds good. Can you please turn the sound up by 0.1%? No. I'm very confused. Salir just messaged me asking if I cast that game. Being that I was in the lobby, I think that would be assumed. Anyways, Bly's got game 2 set up. Let me just fiddle with one of the settings here. I wonder if you guys are going to hear the sexy robot voice.
Surround off.
Did you guys hear that? Rifkin sounds stuffed. I am. My nose is... I can't breathe through my nose right now. It sucks. Sound off. Yeah, wait, hang on. Listen to it.
Surround on.
Oh, baby.
Surround off.
All right, we'll see if this sounds a little bit better. Let's hop into Dreamcatcher. I'll see you guys in game. Alright guys, it's game 2 in this best of 3. This is the Ting Open Season 5 qualifiers for Europe, still in the first round. First match of the day. To the lower right, popping down that pool all quick like, we've got the red Zerg, Bly. His opponent in the top left, the teal Zerg, Salir, who's up 1-0 in the series. Now, at my end, I'm already noticing a very obvious difference in the sounds. Again, I'm asking you guys just to kind of let me know what your preferences are here. There's not a lot I can do while the stream's live, but it's good notes to make so I can make sure that it sounds good next time too. Surround on, his pool's popping. Look, I'm not gonna mess with that while we're in the game. We'll see if this one sounds a little bit better to the ears of those who thought the last one was a bit perhaps stuffy, a bit muffled, kind of like poor Rifkin right now. But let me just move this here and hang on, I gotta follow the Overlord for a sec while I mess with some stuff. Actually I don't. Cool, that fixed everything. Awesome. Alright, well, the Lings from Bly heading out of the base early like you'd expect, but one thing Bly doesn't do is take the path around the map. One of the things that he's pretty well known for, actually, is messing with Overlord vision. I think this guy knows every Overlord path on every map. Bly's a genius in that regard. However, he's not trying to hide, he just wants timing, so the Lings dart right across the field. What I am happy about is that this came with a hatchery back at home and not a drone pull. We've been watching Dark and Kane and Sue and just a lot of Zergs go for the 12 pull into the full pull, and I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. Also, a little bit of Zergling Micro here helps some of these Lings survive. Ooh, that's gonna be good for Bly, so he keeps on the pressure. The drone's pulled off the mining for this. Not a huge deal, but it will actually equalize the income a little bit, because Salir had better mining due to having a few more drones, but not mining or minding the situation, he now puts those workers on the minerals. And Bly's stuck outside the base with a few Lings, but it's worth noting, I highlighted the hatchery back at home for Bly. He's droning at the moment. This was more of an opener and less of an all-in. However, this opener tends to get a little bit more, and maybe that's why Bly is diving back in here, unsatisfied with the results. He will find the main base open without a queen. The drones get pulled away. Even a little bit of lost mining like this can go a long way, and grabbing a couple drones, ooh, that's going to be nice for Bly. Keep in mind he was behind workers, but even just 2 dead kind of helps even the count up. Still, hard to say that this was necessarily worth the opening, but all things considered, the income spike kind of cancels out the previous income lead at a Selir. It'll be more normalized now as they're on 22 and 23 workers apiece. They're both on 2 bases mining, and I guess with Bly a little bit later to gas, his double gas can make up for this. But Bly a little bit later to gas, I really think that this game is just, it might as well have just been the same opening. It might as well have just been passive play, all things considered. I did like what he did with the queens there, by the way. The block on the ramp was a good way to keep Lynx from getting into his base and preventing some kind of attack, but more notably, it does deny that scouting. You know, typically we see that one hero Link barely make it up the ramp, kind of like what he's trying to do now. He'll see 2 gases, and it's a little suspicious. Bly is a player who is known for going Mutalisks, so the fear is that you see the 2 gases in the natural, might be 2 more in the main. But it's a Baneling Nest coming out of Selir, so far, so good as he decides to cut workers, and looks like he's going to be going for a big Baneling all-in. This can be dealt with from Bly's end if he scouts this coming early enough and creates some nice Sim City, blocks it in with the queens. But the problem is going for a Roach Warden and not having his own Baneling Nest, he's not really going to have things to fight against this so effectively. If he's got about 3 or 4 roaches, he can snipe off some of the Banelings, and that'll be nice, but for the most part, the idea behind Selir's attack is it's got a timing that doesn't really allow Bly to do this, especially if Bly is doing as he has been doing, and that's droning a lot. He's on 40 workers right now. But let's make sure it's clear as day to everybody watching. If Bly does not die to this attack, if all he does is defend it, he comes out massively far ahead of Selir. Now, it's easier said than done. He sees the Lynx coming. He builds another bit of a wall to try and seal the gates. Kind of almost wish he would have sacrificed the queen there, but without much surface area, it will be difficult to kill the Evo Chamber. We also have roaches helping fire over the wall too. More Evo Chambers coming down, but in a bit of a funky spot. Bly not overreacting. I think very appropriately preparing for this wall to break. And that wall, oh, he could cancel this too. It might not even break. Or I'll let it finish and just use the Broodlings. Either way, oh, the Evo Chamber with +1 doesn't go down. The other Evo Chambers do fully seal this, by the way. These Lings are still walled in. Or walled out, I guess you could say. But for Bly's sake, I guess the one small bit that they could have run through has been, the gap's been closed. I mean, Selir forced Bly to spend a fair bit more amount of minerals on making, what, 3 extra Evo Chambers, but oh my goodness. This holdout of Bly was stellar. His additional Sim City, unnecessary but great in this situation. And that Evo Chamber, well, it almost died, is slowly healing its way back up, but more importantly, allowing these roaches to get that +1. Now, a lot of Zerglings getting a surround on small amounts of roaches are still doable for Selir, so if Bly were to have moved out immediately, that would be a big mistake on his part. Now he's got a pretty good cluster of roaches, but they're back against one of these walls or inside a mineral line, and Selir cannot get the surround he needs to take a fight. I am curious to what Bly's plans are. He might be waiting for roach speed to go for the counter, or he might just try and defend and take a third. Either way, I think it's very clear to him that the quote-unquote lead he had going into this is gone. Selir not following up with a second wave of insane Zerglings kind of indicates that he went back to droning, and for Bly, that's all the info he needs to know that it's safe to go across the map. As there's just not going to be a crazy big army to meet him. I mean, it's a lot of Zerglings. There is just numerically a lot of units here for Selir, but not really in terms of supply, not really in terms of upgrades, not really in terms of anything going well for him. A couple of drones might die in the natural. This could be a small problem for Bly, but you guys will note he's not pulling his army back home. He is, in fact, continuing to go across the field. +1 weapons, 29 roaches in play. I think 25 or so of which are all here. This is a full surround, but not even close to a fair fight. GG, Bly takes game number 2. Ties up this ZVZ 1-1. And I didn't see any complaints about the audio of that game, so I'm going to assume that this setting off of surround sound is a bit better for you all. But this will be playing guesswork. Either way, I am going to go to a quick break. We'll get to game 3 here ASAP. If you guys haven't yet, though, I would really recommend checking out the brackets. There's one match with possibly a laser versus either Geralt or Gung Fu Panda I really want to get into next. Acheron also plays the winner of this. There's a lot of good round of 8 matches. But we'll be back in 2 minutes, and I'll see you soon. All right, my thing's lagging a little bit, which is kind of annoying. I'll have to do this manually. Sorry, it's a little bit delayed, but bringing you guys into the game. Quick note: Bly did not drone and went for a 12 pool. Things off to kick things off here for game 3. Things are tied up 1-1. Top left, 12 pooling. It's Bly. And his opponent, the lower right, the Teal Zerg, Solier, who's at least going for a pool first. Hey, Dexbot, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub, by the way. I saw you hanging out in Discord the other day, or at least maybe you're AFK. Either way, thank you for the sub. But this tournament, Qualifier's kicking off here. I guess as we get to game 3, it's about time we talk a little bit about the sponsors. Not the too crazies. We'll have to keep an eye on what Bly is doing, but the quick TLDR, Ting Season 5, sponsored by Ting. You guys know the deal. bttv.ting.com. Get $25 off. Their phone bills are typically $25 or less. You can try them out essentially for free by using our code. The big thing is, though, it's a US provider, so US only phone service, but they're really awesome. It's not a contract. If you like them for a month, decide you don't want them, it's fine. You just leave. It's no problem. They don't tie you down. It's great. The other thing, too, is we've got Hover sort of backing up this tournament this season, too, and it's great because not everybody is in the US. If you guys got any questions about it, though, Jesse appears to be hanging out in chat, and he's openly taking Q&As, so whether it's his tactics for how to beat my Battlecruiser Rush this season, the inevitable show match that will come, or maybe it's just questions about Hover because they're new. Jesse's there, and he's offering his hand in answers, guys. Can't wait, he says. I've evolved past Battlecruisers, Jesse. We'll talk more about this later. The Lings are doing a lot more this game than they did last game. As Bly's actually got the surround. That makes it very... Whoa! Okay, well, hang on. Lings with the surround. Monty, thank you very much real quick. They get the queen, but the concave that they had from the angle of attack this time allows them to control what Solir is bringing his way. And unfortunately for him, this is not going well. With the queen dying and soon to be the hatchery joining, this is a little bit rough. Bly's doing some setter step. He really wants to kill the hatchery. Axe out those 300 minerals. Whether the lings get out alive or not, a little bit less relevant at this point. He got a good amount of damage done for a very low cost. Now he's going to have to deal with the counterattack, and I think he knows this. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll see the speed timing, but speed is the key here. So Spinecrawler comes up in the mineral lines. Queen's going to have to body block on the ramp. It's not going to be fun defending this, but Bly got a good attack, and he's got a little bit of a lead to lose. But now that I have a moment to breathe, Monty's been gifting subs like nuts lately. I'll get these names read out in a second, but thank you for the 20 gifted subs. Kind of flushed poor Jesse out of the chat, but Monty, you and I appreciate it, man. Now the Spinecrawler finishes up and he'll nab a Zergling or two. 3 queens on his own Zerglings. Still no speed, but ranged makes up for that here for Bly. The Spinecrawler, for those who don't know, while it's building, doesn't have much armor. In fact, it's naked. But when it's finished building, it gets +2, so these lings won't be able to chip away at it very much. Anyways, Monty was dropping sub bombs yesterday, and I don't know why he's spoiling me again today, but big thank you to Monty for gifting subs to Viralis, Fluxier SC, Kim3C2, Okamix2691, Kroneko334, Doppelhers, VIP Macab, Hulk Holland, Alistair SC2, Ragan, Faceless Guy, Grotlash, Janie the Ginger, Cuba PS, Big Shaft 7, Dr. Green Thumbs, Locozilla 44, Caxker Palm, Syntax 0111, and Dat Guy. Thank you, Monty. Ooh, those lings were on hold position. That's why that looks so awkward. Bly just kind of comes in with his slow lings and gets a couple of kills. Emphasis here on the slow ling part too, as he gets caught out in the middle of the map. This is a very bold thing for him to be doing. Speed doesn't give Solir any advantage in terms of attack. It just simply allows him to get a surround, more surface area quicker, and ideally would surround Bly's lings. But if Bly can control the top of a ramp and create a concave, all of that speed is kind of lost. Still very awkward. I guess his idea is that if I've got these useless lings, I might as well try and use them before I lose them. So going across the map, he won't find a queen. He loses control as the sandwich comes in, and that's it for Bly's army. But 2 very important things were noticed through this. One is that his opponent made more Zerglings. It was a scout for Bly that was worth it. Secondly, Bly now knows he's just got to defend. It's a very similar situation to game 2. All he has to do is hold on. A couple of transfuses go into these Evo chambers. I mean, these queens have got a lot of energy, and I can't imagine Bly falling apart here. The Roach Warden comes down calmly behind this. Still no transfuse into the Evo chamber. Just happen to get the Broodlings out of this. 4 queens, a lot of transfuses. Another Evo chamber being chipped away at, but Bly's got lings ready to body block too. He's gonna try and get a new Evo chamber up. The queens are getting surrounded, but GG's get called. Solir not gonna break this. Bly holds 2 games running. And he'll advance on to the round of 8. Very nicely done. Also, Angel Del Marte, thank you for the 7 months. Your notification will not come up for a long while because Monty bombed those sub gifts out. Says, more sweet base trade goodness. Also, don't mind the WoW breaks as well. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I've actually been feeling really good about when we've been streaming WoW, even though it's probably not to everybody's liking. I really enjoy it, so thank you. Happy Pants also joining in on the hype with that Twitch Prime. Thank you for that too. As we do a quick refresh here, as I look at the brackets, Raynor advances on the top side. Drogo currently faces off against Sol, so it looks like Sol did show up for his match. Elazer waits for Gung Fu Bandit or Geralt, and Bly will face either Starvania or Acheron, which will be pretty good. What I need you guys to do, though, is let me know in the Twitch chat which of these matches you want to see. So, display capture real quick. Of course it's not working. Why would the display... It's like 50-50 whether my display capture works. All right. Type ! Brackets in the chat. You're going to have to pull this up on your own because I can't screen region it, guys. Basically, just let me know which match you want me to hop into. I personally want to see a Laser versus Gung Fu Bandit or Geralt, but we could wait on Raynor to fight against possibly Braddock. We could wait on Bly to fight possibly Acheron. I think Drogo, he's not in a game yet. We could still catch Drogo versus Sol. So let me know which games you guys want to see while I take a moment to breathe. So Be back soon. Thanks for watching. All right, folks. So a lot of you guys said you wanted to see Drogo versus Soul. So I'm in the lobby for Drogo versus Soul. We should mention, though, that the round of 8 matches don't have a lot of weight to them, but this match will lead into the qualifier match. Both of the semifinals will determine which 2 players get through today's bracket. But we're going to be starting in a Parasite, so see you guys in game. Alright guys, we are getting into another best of 3. Wait, that's the wrong scene! Get my face out of here! Let's get into game, literally. In the top left, we have the red Terran, it's Soul. And his opponent on the lower right, the blue Protoss Drogo. Now, I know some of you guys wanted to see a laser, and I'm sorry to disappoint. Hopefully he'll make it through this round, and we'll see him in the qualifiers, because I will be casting both of the qualification games, but again, the emphasis here, guys, not to have you rush out. Like, don't drop everything and go sign up for Ting, and don't drop everything and go sign up for Hover. But you should know that as the season goes on, we'll be unlocking more prize money for the tournament and cool rewards and other fun things as we build up a match arena, which I don't think is available yet. That should be available by the time we get to groups. But yeah, if you guys have questions about Hover or Ting, as I said, Jesse's in chat with us today. We don't often, he's such a busy guy, we don't often get him free to answer questions like this. So if you have questions about their services or things like that, definitely hit them with it. Hover, I think, is really cool, though. The beautiful thing about it is I know there's a lot of people who want to support Ting seasons, but unfortunately, due to the fact that they don't live in the United States, doesn't really work for the. I can't pay for a phone bill I'm never going to use. But Hover is a global thing. It's a domain service, and with them being a big part of Season 5, we now have a bit of a global presence, which is cool. Anyways, I'll shill and sell out later. I just wanted to mention it before Jesse takes off today to have him around. Also, Monty, I just realized those gifted subs, you did push us over 1,400 subs, now at 1,407 subscribers. So thank you again for that. But if you couldn't tell by the visual aid, there was a proxy in play. It's the proxy meta. Every Terran's doing proxies versus Protoss, and it's no fun. But this bunker is really interesting. If nothing else, it serves as a block to a Nexus. Kind of like an engineering bay, but something you could salvage if it finished up. Unfortunately, due to the Zealot coming out to try and deal with this, it's left a lot of openings in the main base for that Reaper to come in and be very annoying. However, really good micro out of Drogo so far, only losing one probe to this. A couple get within one-shot range, but the shields have regened, and now this Reaper's not going to have so much power following it up. For Sol, though, it's not a great situation. Despite having a little bit of control this early, his barracks is still flying home. He's building a starport, a command center on the high ground. He's not going to take many risks for this, but his production is going to be really offset by not having, well, any production, frankly. But Drogo's not looking to push with a Stalker. I really think what's funny about this, though, is a Zealot Stalker poke could certainly be annoying without a lot of risk to it. Chip away at the supply depots, kill an SCV that's outside of it type thing, but the Reaper's looking to claim another probe at least. Finds this guy. It's good to shut this down, actually, not just because it's like a bit... Soul? Okay. It's really going to shut this down, not because of anything other than the fact that it's going to guarantee no extra pylons are being placed down. I don't think he's worried about a proxy Stargate, but still other warping locations, just scouting to catch his own medevacs later type thing. I like this comment in chat. Tenacious Toucan, who happens to be a really handsome subscriber, says, as a Ting user for 1.5 years now, it's awesome, especially if you're single and not looking for a long-term commitment. You're real. But he's right. Not locking you into a plan. I'm stuck like with a terrible phone plan in Canada, and I think I can get out of it in 3 months, which I'm really looking forward to. But luckily with Ting, you don't get locked into those kind of contracts. Viking being pumped out back at home. I guess a little bit worried about the air. I mean, he takes care of the one in the middle of the map with Cyclones, so he knows there's a dead Oracle, and there's not likely many more, but still, for Sol, whether it's killing an Oracle here or an Oracle there, part of this just it relieves him, if nothing else. Like, okay, the Oracle's dead, so that means there's nothing going to be harassing his mineral line, less revelations. I mean, he could turn the dial on these Stalkers. I'm a little surprised. I guess he's really worried about the DPS of the Oracle, but picks up. Oh, that's 2 dead Oracles, and the Cyclones get out of there alive. Another Oracle in play could get locked on if he's not careful. You know, I've never really seen a Terran player use Cyclones to be so effective like this. A lot of the time, these Cyclones come out and they're brute forcing their way into killing a couple probes, grab a pylon, a Stalker, but then they get killed. Killing 2 and possibly 3 Oracles is so effective. What's really scary, though, for Sol at this point is with the Phoenix out in play, he's kind of limited on what this medevac can do. The Cyclone longevity is directly tied to the medevac. However, if he unloads this, he can lock on to this. However, as we can see here, these Cyclones are very low. Kind of a cool move out of Drogo. I don't know if you guys caught what he just did there. Not a misclick. He goes to lift up the Phoenix and immediately cancels it. This was just simply to interrupt the attack of the Cyclone, allowing him to then get in there and kill the medevac. I really like that move. It's very subtle, but very effective. And now both the Cyclones and the medevac go down. This worked out pretty well for Drogo, despite the earlier losses. I'm still surprised he got the Phoenix out of that too, by the way. But Gravix 4040, today is the sub day. What is going on? Thank you for joining us here with that Twitch Prime. Wardy in chat says, hi, I joined the stream and I think there's a bug. It's only been 30 to 60 seconds and I've only heard discussion about StarCraft 2. Hey, Wardy, how you been, man? I miss you, dude. I'm stoked. TwitchCon is fast approaching. Oh, we should probably sync up about hotel details, by the way, but I'm looking forward to seeing you there, buddy. I have to tell you guys a really stupid story, actually. So you ever have those moments where you know you've done something dumb? You're like, I'm an idiot. And there's just no justifying how much of an idiot you are. This was nice with the Banshee, by the way, grabbing up to 9 workers total now. Counterattack coming to Drogo's, gotta watch out. Marines are not really well protected. Stim's not done yet. This could be some trouble. High ground won't be an issue, but the 3rd CC will likely get canceled. I don't think there's a lot you can do to save this. Tank siege is up over here, but yeah, Drogo doesn't have to commit near the ramp. Just chip away at this. Oh, I see. Rolo's right. It's taking advantage of the new Ace 425. I'm really mad that I took the time to make that emote, but the CC doesn't get canceled. He actually finishes up. This works out pretty nicely for Soul. But going back to the I'm an idiot story. So here's the thing, guys, right? Blizzard's hosting this like community summit, and you know, Base Trade's invited, which is cool. I'm going to TwitchCon, and the day I leave TwitchCon is also the same day they want us there for the summit. So it made more sense that I would fly from San Jose down to California than to fly from San Jose back to Vancouver to California again, right? Or LAX, excuse me. So I freak out because I look at our hotel itinerary, and by the way, I'm sharing a hotel with Wardy, right? So I look at it and it's like October 28th, right? And I'm like, shit, I'm gonna need one more night because that's like the day I need to fly down. So I go and book a non-refundable Airbnb. 125 Canadian, not bad, a little cozy place, right? Then I take a second to double check the hotel itinerary, and it's the night of the 28th, not the day of the 28th. So I'm actually still covered and good to go. I've already paid for a hotel and now an Airbnb that I don't fucking need. There's the GG, by the way. Don't do travel accommodations while you're sick. That's all I can suggest to people, because your brain is addled and you're an idiot. But Soul takes a pretty nice game one. I think that was something that was leading up to it. And the army supplies got a little too out of hand, and if Drogo had got the kill or cancel on that third base, he would have been in a much better situation. But having lost half the health on the stalkers, retreating back home, I mean, it was all downhill from the second time the Oracle died. Next time you're on the Pylon show, can you talk some Terran sense into the show to combat a lot of the Protoss butthurt? LOL. That's if I end up back on the Pylon show. Let me get into the lobby here for game 2. I think it's weird to say, right? Butthurt is a very healthy part of StarCraft 2 because it means people care. If you're a Protoss player seeing the changes that are coming, and a lot of these changes are pretty bad, by the way. I don't agree with them, at least. And you just sat there and said, I don't care. That's when you know, like, there's no passion and the scene's dying. But if you got people who are, like, balance whining and up in arms about it, that's good. It's a healthy thing. Anyways, we're hopping into Acid Plant for game 2, but I'm going to skip the intro to talk to some of the folks here in Twitch chat. So, nice commentary, Rifkin. Best caster ever. Oh, and dual one. Wait, a typo. Vicary, gotcha. Look, dudes, I'm going to be real honest with you. Basetradetv isn't your typical casting channel. Now, if you want super professional casting commentary, you're going to have to go elsewhere. Ting knows this. Everyone we work with knows this. Basetradetv is a place to hang out and watch StarCraft 2 together. Sometimes my anecdotes are pointless and you'd much rather hear the gameplay footage, but that's what you're going to get. And I'm not trying to sell you anything otherwise. I'm not trying to pretend that this is a big professional channel that you guys should expect big professional commentary out of. But that aside, because that's not an important topic, I am addled and sick. And while I don't expect you to feel pity, I've got like a 0 tolerance today. So if you want to be shitty at Twitch chat, please expect some timeouts. That's all I can say. But no bans, just timeouts, because Rifkin doesn't ban. At any rate, we're getting into game 2. Spawning here in the top left. He is getting proxied once more. We have the red Protoss, PT Drogo. And his one at the bottom right, the blue Terran Soul. And with this proxy, by the way, comes double gases. So Soul, I don't know if he's going to put the factory on his side of field or the other. Because last game, he did do this, but then brought the barracks back immediately. This time around, he may just go full commitment. Either way, Drogo scouted this, so now he knows what's going on. But this is where it gets really meta for Protoss. And this is what I like. This is why I love not the tactics in play. I don't care about the Cyclone or the Immortal dynamic. I love the, okay, I see what he's doing, so I'll do this, and then he'll predict that, and like the kind of meta play around this. Anyways, with proxy factories being so heavily in the meta, and which is not, by the way, it is going to be put at home, and Drogo will not scout this. A lot of the time, these Immortals and a Robo-Bay just kind of end up being your default opener, and it's such a hard counter to anything that comes out of that factory. But I bring this up and highlight that even though that's happening a lot in Korea and other matchups, Drogo actually stuck to his guns and went Stargate last game, and even with a little bit of cool finesse, a little bit of nice gameplay, still couldn't stop Soul's rampage later on. But this looks very similar. In fact, it is eerily identical. The difference is the Reaper almost gets surrounded by the probes. Yikes. Stargate goes down. That's been scouted. The factory's put at home. That's been scouted. Soul's withdrawing. Okay, that's not been scouted. But I think for Drogo, what's really unfortunate is he struggled against this last game, and I fear that this may just be a repeat. Either way, we should quickly note, I was going to bring this up, but I didn't have the URL open, and I still don't. If you guys missed the system for the Ting Season 5 announcement, there are some players who were invited back to reprise their roles in Europe based off of their, I guess, their distance ran or their tournament life in Season 4. Not all players have accepted their invites. In fact, a majority of players have not. But at the current moment of this cast, Mana, DNS, and Hearthstone have all accepted their European invite slots. And actually, at this point confirming, Snoot has officially declined his. Even though he played in BTSL and he looked not too bad in the round of 8, he expressed that he just wasn't interested in committing to a full season. So that's going to make this really interesting, as now there's an additional invite spot opened up for players. What's really key about this, then, is players like Drogo. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm not trying to predict that he'll lose. But if Drogo were to lose here, and all Zergs qualified, Drogo would be a really high priority for a player we'd look to invite to replace somebody like Snoot. Oh, ho, ho! That Ryung-style Widowmine! Randomly placed in the middle of the map in 2 different locations. I thought those were Marines just scouting. No, Soul actually kills the Oracle with this. Now, on one hand, you put it in the mineral lines and gets the job done and splashes some of the SCVs too in the process, but that was a really nice catch for Soul and something that would certainly tilt me if I was Drogo, but yeah. Anyways, going back to Drogo, he's a player with a lot of renown to him. The fact that he showed up to the qualifiers means a lot, so, well, he might get knocked out here, and I hope he doesn't. Again, knock on wood, but it would certainly be one of the players we'd look at inviting to replace folks like Snoot, who didn't quite make it back for Season 5. BlizzCon floor plan announced. Ooh. Part of me wants to tab out and look at that. I'll have to check it out after this game. Thank you for the link, Haru. There's a lot of... See, here's what's actually great. I'm not going to pick this apart to be fighting. Soul Factor Gaming might be the first person in like 6 years who's actually offered decent constructive criticism. A lot of people like to bitch and try and mask it as constructive criticism. But Soul Factor Gaming says something, and when I read a comment like this, I actually do truly take this to heart, and I'm going to vocalize this because he says something that's... I understand that it's not a professional cast. Doesn't mean you have to lack in the zone of actually trying to cast the game. See, that's the type of feedback I love, and we don't get any of. So thank you, Soul Factor Gaming. Again, I'm going to be a little off topic because it's just the nature of the channel, but yeah, it's something to keep in mind for sure. Now, with 5 Cyclones and an Oracle, or excuse me, a Widowmine, I don't know why I said Oracle there. The Oracle's over here. It's actually not that scary of an attack. What's weird though is the 4 SCVs make this terrifying, because you can trade out with the Cyclones maybe, but the SCVs increase their longevity. Oh my god, the Oracles just melt. The lock-ons from 5 Cyclones and a Viking do it. The Viking itself lands, does 20 damage a shot to anything mechanical, which are, of course, all the Stalkers currently in play. It's a little bit rough, and I think Drogo will clean this up, but this comes at a great cost to him. Not his workers, but mostly just through his army. Stalkers are really expensive units to make, and losing them like this, not something you want to do. So, falling back from it, Cyclone grabs another kill on the way out, but ultimately, 7 Stalkers and 4 Oracles die. I think Soul's pretty satisfied with the attack. And as Drogo goes for what's a predictable counter to this, the Banshee swoops in. Oh no, there's no shield battery yet. There's no detection. There's nothing. This Banshee's gonna pick up like 5 probes easily. Soul's also gonna have an okay defense. With the bunker up, all he's gotta do is repair this. So as long as he's not lazy about pulling the SCVs, he'll be fine. 4 probes go down. Really looking for that number 5 here. To talk about the shield battery aspect of this, it would stop the Banshee harass almost entirely. Oh, this is so awkward. The Stalkers just walk around the bunker. I mean, Soul's got an okay army if he can keep the Stalkers in place. He goes for the recall. Jogo went too deep. He flew too close to the sun. Loses a couple Stalkers for this. And then as the Stalkers warp home, they can start dealing with the Banshee. Still, 8 probes dead versus the 6 SCVs. Both players come out with a very similar worker count. But the shield batteries here, while not something Drogo necessarily wanted to have to build, are very crucial, because if it's 1 Banshee, not 2 Banshees, but if it's 1 Banshee, instead of taking 2 shots to kill a probe, it takes 5. Literally doubling, and then some, the amount of time it takes to kill a single worker. It really makes the investment of the Banshee not worthwhile. But with 2 Banshees, you can target them down and they will nuke a probe before the shield battery has a chance to kick in, and that's where it works out pretty nice. But 3 Banshees in 3 locations, Cloak almost ready to go. I think the shield batteries will do a really good job of stopping this from getting too out of hand. Tread, 28, thank you for the 3 months, dude. Alright, here we go. Banshee in the natural is going to be a little bit useless. Banshee at the 3rd base, though, finds probes without a shield battery, and oh, suddenly this becomes really good for Soul. Now, Revelation goes down. The Phoenix and the Stalkers will clean up the Banshee, but not before these 2 combined. These 3 combined grab another 11 worker kills. 12, 13. Oh, that's tough. Jogo's going to have to spend a lot of money investing in probes. Now, it's not like Zerg where you lose out a larva, right? And thus an actual army unit. But in this similar situation, you're spending that money not on more Stalker warp-ins and not on Zealots, but instead probes 3 at a time. Jogo with Chrono Boosts will certainly get these back up, so the economy shouldn't be hurting for too long, but oh boy, this army fight is going to be not crazy, but something that I don't think Drogo could actually take a victory in if he goes into that tank. Maybe if the Oracle gets in, but oh, is that a raiding party? Is that a raiding party of 4 million people coming from Loco? Thank you, Loco. Talk more about that in a second. The bunker not done for the attack. The Oracles get picked off immediately. Jogo dives in really deep, and he's going to tap out. GG. Soul takes a 2-0 as the Low fam gets here just in time to see a very action-packed end to this round of 8. But guys, we got all these Loco emotes in chat. Where are the Basetradetv emotes? Burn them! Use your Blue Flame Hellion. Well, I guess it's not Blue Flame. Use your regular Hellions, though. At 425 degrees Celsius, I want you to cook this raid alive. Fight them back with fire. Fight fire with fire. Pitchforks and fire. Fight the Loco raid. Oh, shit. Now we've burned our own house down. Our channel's on fire. No, we made a mistake. We need the spray bottles. Everyone, ace spray. We got to put out the fire. We got to put out the fire. Stop using the fire. We got to put out the fire. Put out the fire. Oh, God. This got so messy. Loco. Yeah, you done fucked things up, man. Oh, thank you very much for that raid, though, dude. Loco, I was hanging out his channel a little bit before the stream got started today. And, good stuff. Also, if you guys didn't see, Loco apparently went and cast one of the, I don't know if it's up on his YouTube yet or not. He was talking about it. But he's been casting some of the BTSL stuff, which is cool. He's been nice enough to mention us, which is great. So, I mean, I gotta imagine there's more people here who are subscribed to Loco than not, but if you haven't checked him out either on YouTube or Twitch, Loco, premium content creator. But as far as the Loco fans who are just joining us, well, you happen to join us in the middle of a qualifier for Ting. Now, the Ting Open Season 5 qualifiers are just the start. There's a whole season, so this isn't like the big show with the big money, but 2 players from today are going to qualify into Season 5. And you've actually joined us at the perfect time because we're going to be getting into the qualification rounds in a moment. The round of 8 finishes up, and our first game has Soul be one of the first players into a match. He will play what is likely Rainer or possibly the player 3DB. You'll be able to see this, of course, if you type !brackets into the Twitch chat. To the bottom side, we currently have a Laser versus Geralt and Bly versus Starvania. I'm about to head off to a break, but as soon as we're back, hopefully we'll have one of those matches ready to cast. Either way, there are 2 best of 5s coming up for your pleasure and entertainment. Loco says he's taking off. I hope you have a good day, man. Get some good rest. Everyone knows that feeling of that post-stream just chill out session. It's one of the best feelings. So have a good one, Loco. For everyone who just tuned in, thanks. I'll be back soon. Okay, welcome back. All I was saying is at the moment, Bly advances. Yay! He plays in the qualifying game, but he doesn't have an opponent yet. So we have Bly waiting for either a Laser versus Geralt to finish up, and Soul waiting for Raynor versus 3DB to finish up. These are actually going to be two really good best of fives, in my honest opinion. But it is a matter of which of these guys gets a game first. So, whilst we are waiting, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to play some mother flipping marbles! So if you guys want to play some marbles, I hope you'll consider heading !play in the chat. If you don't know how this game works, we don't have marbles without viewers. When you type play, it generates a marble for you, and we run the race. While this goes on, though, I do want to actually take a moment to talk about our sponsors for the event. I mean, we're going to have to wait a few moments while people flood in, apparently. Damn, we're over 100 marbles. I just said playing. Damn! But, yeah, let's talk a little bit about what's going on for the tournament itself, right? Like I said, Ting Season 5, we're going to run this through till December, and it'll be really good, a lot of good games. You'll get a lot more advertising as we get closer to the actual groups, but just kind of getting you guys in the know. We played the preseason games, which were awesome, and yeah, Ting's a pretty awesome phone company. If you don't know much about them, and you're living in the United States, it's definitely worth looking into them. Ting is, I mean, at this point, they don't even give me anything to read. We've just been working with them for so long. They're so cool. They're so good. And they're so effective for people who are on Wi-Fi all the time. If you're like me and you don't really have a data plan, much less any use of it because you're sitting at home 24/7 watching Twitch streams or playing World of Warcraft or whatever floats your fancy, you shouldn't be paying more than $25 a month for your phone bill. And with Ting, you can make that happen. The best part is if you use our promo code or just go to bttv.ting.com, you can sign up, try their services, and with $25 off as the promotion for the tournament, you basically get to try them for free. Jesse's also been pretty cool about helping people retroactively apply the code too if they've messed it up. So if you sign up and realize, like, oops, I forgot to go to this URL, get in contact with Jesse. He'll usually hook you up. Either way, as I said, he is in the Twitch chat today. He's not here too often. He's usually quite a busy guy. I guess today he's got a few minutes free. So if anyone has questions about Ting or, more importantly, the new co-sponsor Hover, he's definitely the guy they ask the questions to. Hover is a domain service, and it's something that you guys can use globally. You'll get 10% off using the base trade code over there or their URL. Both of the descriptions, or both of them, can be found in the descriptions below the stream. But, folks, let's get into the marble race. We've got almost 200 marbles. Can we get 6 more people to type !play? Let's run this race with 200 marbles. Before I hit that play button, though, thank you, Burry Black Puddings, for the Twitch Prime 3 months. Marbles. Wee. I've got no voice. All right, there we go. Over 200 marbles. Let's hit that start. If you guys don't know, the blue names are, of course, the subscribers on the channel. The white names are the plebs. Ugh. But if you are a pleb and you win this marble race, we might just turn you into one of the glorious Master Race subscribers. That was a quick shout out to Montyune. Guy's using the base trade ball, but he's also the guy who gave us a bunch of subs today. So big love, Monty. This is not one of the more dangerous maps, but this is one of the maps we've seen players get stuck in the glass swirlies quite a bit. We'll keep an eye on that. As I said, though, if you're watching and waiting for the StarCraft 2, both of the qualifying matches are what we're about to cast, and it looks like Raynor and Soul will be the first match. So we'll run these marbles, and then we'll hop into that best of 5 and see who wins. After that, we'll have Bly versus either a Laser or Gung Fu Banda. But again, if you guys are just joining us from Loco's stream, or you just tuned in because you woke up, either way, !brackets is the command in chat to take a look at the challenge brackets and see what's going on. I wish Ting were available in Canada. I just checked Bell's website for their cheapest plan. Dude, I know, right? I actually took a picture of this at the mall the other day. I was so pissed. There was a company that's offering a 40% off. Okay, keep in mind, this is the 40% off price. A 40% off promo of $40 for 4 gigs. What the fuck? I hate Canada. Jesse, when is Ting coming to Canada? I know you can't, the cell services and the lobbying and the bullshit. I know why you can't. But damn it, Jesse, when is Ting coming to Canada? All right. We got Aeroct hitting first into the Great Equalizer. The Orb of Dick Moves. As oftentimes, many of the players who come in first here are the last ones out. Jeremy, this little marble fiend, big fan of Wardy, ends up taking the lead in the race. Canada's amazing. Canada sucks. If you guys don't know, I love Ting. I have a Ting phone, actually. Thank God. Jesse hooked me up, guys. I've got a Galaxy S9, brand new. Ooh, it's so sweet. It's so sleek, and it's so small, which is nice. From Ting, which is awesome. So I can actually, like, very truthfully say I use their services, and in fact, I've got a Ting phone. But, man, it's so dumb how much more efficient it is to sign up with a phone company and roam to Canada. Like, seriously, we need Ting. We need Ting to save us, guys. The Bicycle. Ooh, takes the lead. Have you dropped in the toilet yet? Shut up, dears! No? I take super careful caution with this phone, because it's so nice. I don't... On PCC, the Bicycle, both competing for first place. Getting closer to the end of this race, which means we're getting closer to getting into that game. I'm going to actually join the lobby, though, just to cut down on some of the time here, folks. But damn, on PCC, looking to possibly take the record from Cosmiac. Or Cosmosake. The Bicycle's a little ahead, too. Of course, it's this next bit here where you need a little bit of luck boosting and bouncing past these. Ooh, stopper boppers! Unfortunately, might not be looking to set a new record. Still in first place, though, on PCC. Survives the gauntlet. However, did he just get dicked on? He did. Okay, so if you guys didn't see what just happened there, Ozai came in like a bat out of hell. He touched the finish line, which counted him as first place, then bounced out of it immediately and stole first place. What a dick move. I'm not gifting a sub to that. Where's on PCC in the Twitch chat? Where are you, dude? I'm gonna gift you a sub. You get the honorary first place. I know you still lost to another guy anyways, but you fought the caster curse of me spectating your marble and survived. If that's not worth a gifted sub, I don't know what is. So congratulations. At any rate, we'll watch these marbles wrap things up, see if your marble survived or not, as I'm in the lobby for Soul versus Rainer. This is going to be a best of 5 TVZ, and Rainer showed us a hell of a good set of games yesterday versus Gumio. That, for me, has set a huge bias where I think he's going to take this over Soul, but let's see what you guys think. Oh my god, there's some people who are seriously so far behind. Who's all the way back here? Why are you all the way back here? Oh my goodness. Alright, well, Hound Spear and a couple others just bringing up the tail end of this. Whoop, 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 whoop. Alright, as I said, I'm in the lobby, though, for the game. Let me see if the players are ready. Rainer says he's good. Soul. Everyone ready? The first map is going to be Lost and Found. Yo, gift a sub to the poor soul at the end. Nah, dude, subs are for winners! Not for losers! Basetradetv subscribers are not losers. And how dare you play otherwise, Lucifer? It's the people who are not subbed. They're the real losers. How's the shit? I didn't see Duddles in chat. I think I saw you earlier, but hey, Duddles. Good morning. Soul says he's ready, so as we hit start to the game, quick scroll through. You guys will have to take a look to see whether you survived or not. Actually, I'm not going to get into the intro in time. We got 200 marbles to scroll through, so we'll just scroll through this and hop directly into game 1. Marbles. Marbles, am I right? 230 marbles, enter 127, get out alive. Jesse was like, oh shit. Jesse was like with me, one of the first people to die. Feels bad, man. This is what we get for putting our passion into StarCraft and not marbles. Alright guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first qualifying match of the second EU qualifiers. More notably, also the last set of EU qualifiers. In the top right, we have the Red Zerg. He put up a hell of a show yesterday. We've got the Red Raynor. And if you are a tier 3 sub, you can spam East Blue to cheer for him. And at the bottom left, if you're a tier 2 sub, you can spam Ace Red to cheer for the Blue Terran player Soul. Now, that won't make a lot of sense to people until you mouse over the emote codes for that one. But it is a proxy coming down out of Seoul. Bit of an odd location, but it's something where if it works, it works. I think one thing we should note, though, is Raynor has shown us pretty definitively he can go to the late game versus Korean Terrans. And while Seoul's actually a really good Polish Terran, he might have this knowledge in mind and say, like, look, whether it's an all-in or a quote-unquote opener, this is the only way I could possibly take down Raynor. Raynor, by the way, is pulling several drones to try and catch these units early. The biggest part of this is stopping the bunkers. If it's Reapers, it's different, obviously, but with Marines, if you stop the bunkers from going down, or more notably, kill the units that would go inside said bunkers before they get a chance to hop in there, like, drones can kill a Marine early on. It's a big commitment, though. Raynor has pulled a lot of drones very far away from the mineral lines. The question is whether this will be worth it or not. Now, we see Raynor try and micro that drone away from the Marine. Still, though, they are faster than the Marine, so they'll walk up to it, punch it to death. Giant crab claws. Workers are pretty good in StarCraft, guys. Good micro here so far, but he's not killing the SCVs, which sucks. He grabs one. He really wanted two, but he's getting really deep into that fire, and he needs to keep these drones up and alive, so he falls back. However, one of the other things this did that was really important is it also delayed the bunkers going down. So now that the hatchery is finished up, creep spreads, you can't build on creep, and Soul's gonna have limited space where he could even use a bunker if he was still planning to commit to one. Anyways, Raynor's pool at a pretty nice timing. Sets these lings out on the map. He's going to run past these Marines. He's going to hope that Soul played greedy, and Soul did. This command center could have gone in to be part of that wall. Because it doesn't, there's a gaping hole that the lings may run to. It's risky because then he doesn't have anything at home to defend. And I think what he's trying to do is really just come up from behind and back attack these Marines. Or catch some of the ones on the rally. But with the barracks being lifted, that's not more production. And maybe the Queen and the drones will be enough. It's an odd bunker. Queen's gonna go down. It's a good start, but the Marine's also getting in really deep on top of the creep. Allow even the slow lings to get on top of them. Range on the Queen too. Also sniping from far away. Those lings that were across the map come back. Bunkers canceled. SCVs die. And Raynor is in a very interesting spot coming out of the back end of this. So the worker count looks kind of even right now, but as I show you guys the income graph, it's actually not. A lot of lost mining time combined with drones coming out later and pulled off the mineral lines here even, just overall gives Soul a nicer lead, plus his mule on top of this. I mean, he's got a third CC coming down. It's gonna take a lot of work for Raynor to catch up to what Soul's doing, which would, in any other case, even be labeled as a little greedy. But in this case, it's just a nice lead he gets off the back end of this opening. Also, oh, this name's not gonna get said correctly for 7 months running, apparently, but Haibane Kuramori is my attempt to say thank you for these 7 months. Glad to see you too. And hello, Juvia. I am still sick, unfortunately. Thank you for asking. Today's actually been a really weird day. It's feel very lightheaded, which probably isn't a great thing, but luckily, it's not that long of a cast. Like I said, we got this best of 5 and one more coming up afterwards. It's a quick qualifier, but it's an important qualifier because it's the last qualifier. As I had said, and if you guys missed earlier on the stream, I'll be talking with Jesse over the coming weeks and probably even finishing up talking to him in real life at BlizzCon, where we'll figure out how to deal with the lack of showing up to the other qualifiers. Like I said, though, it's pretty easy. Like, a worst case scenario, we just handpick invites for players and fill up the round of 32 that way, but I personally am always an advocate for qualifiers. Not only does it give us more content, you guys can enjoy more games on the channel, but it's also a chance for players to earn their way in. Players who might not otherwise be normally picked. Like, for example, Soul would likely not be a name you would pick over Raynor in terms of hype or extraordinary gameplay. But if you see Soul do really well in qualifiers, you're more inclined. And if he wins the qualifier even too, even better. Little awkward as he tries to put these creep tumors down. Not a huge priority, but the queens will shoo this away. Lings at the bottom side too, keep the Hellions from running in. Bly, hey there, Bly is hanging out in Twitch chat. Bly says, I'm free to get the spot. Well, Bly's actually contesting the other side of the bracket. He'll be playing against a Laser or Geralt. But Bly comes to show up for... See, here's the thing about Bly, by the way, guys. And I want to like really highlight this. I think Bly's a great player, and there's many nice things to say about him, right? Please assume that what I say next isn't about to be BM. But whether Bly is a good or a bad player, he shows up to everything. He attends every qualifier. He'll play show matches or be there to replace player in show matches. And I wish other players had this kind of commitment. Because for Bly, he's an easy invite. He's proved that he's reliable. So even if someone was to say, like, look, we need a good Zerg player, can you get, like, Snoot? To the sponsors, I'm always at this point like, hey, well, consider Bly. Because he's reliable, he's going to show up, he's going to put good games on, win or lose, and hell, he can surprise people sometimes on top of that. So, yeah, I wish more people were like Bly. Also, side note, Bly, I saw that stream. I wasn't there for the whole time, but I saw you stream the other day. I hope you had a good time. I'd love to see more Bly streams. Sure Shadai reminds us of the time Bly hooked a car battery up to power his PC right when there was that outage. I remember that. And he's played out... Yeah, we'll talk more about Bly. We'll stroke Bly off later, okay? Well, he's coming up next. Him versus one of those two in the other best of 5. But like I said, this best of 5's kicked off here, and one of these two from this game will advance to Season 5 directly, which would be nice. Be great. Just quickly opening up the Wikipedia, because I have already forgotten who got through the other qualifier. Namshar and Rail. That's right. Those are the ones we had to do from replays, which, by the way, wasn't too bad. We were casting at like an awful time zone to like 600 people. That was actually a really cool way to do those replays. But yeah, that's right. Rail was a big surprise. I think it was it a Laser he had even knocked out? Either way, Namshar, I'm really glad to have come into the season, and Rail as well. And somebody will be joining them too. But like I had also mentioned, there's an extra sneaky, cheeky invite spot with Snoot having dropped his invite, no longer playing Season 5. There's more people to invite than ever, more players to qualify through, and I'm really looking forward to the European groups for Season 5, even though it probably will be a lot of Zerg. But getting back to the game, as things have gone past the normalizer point in the game, attacks are starting to commence. We got double drops here on the right side. Bly's already on top of this. Or not Bly, excuse me, Raynor. See, this is the problem, guys. You got me talking about Bly and Twitch chat now, blah, 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 blah. But Raynor is on top of this. The Lings were giving chase, but Soul finds a smart place to unload the Marines. There's also another smartly placed drop here in the top left. But with Queens to shoot this off, it won't be staying around for long. So, if you're a big fan of Raynor, you're in for a treat. Yesterday, we cast a ton of games, a full best of 7 that went all the way to Game 7. Where Gumio was playing Mech, and we got to watch Raynor fight against Mech all the way to the end. But Soul's playing Bio. And it's a very different game, with a very different pacing to it, but I think this, for me, is the matchup I love watching Raynor play most. As a big Raynor fan, I think he's really good against Bio. Lings are not that effective against Mech. They're a lot more effective here against Bio, and this is what Raynor's known best for. So we're going to watch a pretty good game, I think, come out of him, and I think that, well, Soul, for all intents and purposes, no disrespect, is the underdog in this. I'm really going to watch him to see how he deals with it, because it's no secret. Raynor, for a time period, he was kind of the Italian kid, rising through the ranks, coming out of nowhere. He wasn't a big name. He wasn't somebody who was necessarily on everybody's radar, even though a lot of the pros knew who he was. Now, between the few WCSs he's been able to compete in, leagues here on Basetradetv, he's got a name for himself. So Soul comes into this, and he should. I would be shocked if Soul did not know the style which Raynor played. Yo, Diet Sony, do you like those emote codes, dude? A lot of creep spread too for Raynor. As he gets about 50% of the map covered up now, this is really great. It's creep spread doesn't secure you map control the same way as it does measure it. Because Soul hasn't been beating this back, and because he hasn't been doing a lot of side drops that have distracted Raynor from spreading creep in the first place, you gotta tell just how much control Raynor has over the game right now. It said away. Hang on. Why are you spamming gray? Sorry. Dear YouTube audience who watches this later, I'm being a little bit of a cheeky shit in Twitch. So unfortunately you're missing the chat from that. But this planetary down here to the south combined with the siege tank has proven to be very efficient at stopping the Lings and the Baneleys from that run by. A very expensive attack out of Rainer that ultimately doesn't end up being worth it. It grabs 3 SCVs and a couple supply depots. If he had killed the planetary, amazing commitment. Because he didn't, it's a little bit rough. Let's run to the top. Stops that drop. Continues to just maneuver around the map with Lings. He is on 86, now 84 drones. So Rainer's got a lot of income. Replacing things like that attack that failed, it's not such a big problem for him. And oh, he gets on top of this tank. The SCVs are pulled away, but the Lings are trying to hop on top of them in the mineral lines. The planetary fortress is the base that he can't really commit to. The other one, the orbital being open like this, that's a lot better for him. 9 SCVs go down. Now, a couple drones also die to a drop that looks like it's been cleaned up on his side of the field. And blow for blow, both players are remaxing. 30 Lings and 8 Marines at a time. It's not difficult to get that army back up. We have our admin currently trying to burn down Basetradetv in the Twitch chat, guys. Can we go ahead and just douse that fire really quick? Theirs is like a cat on the furniture. Just give him a little bit of a spritz. Alright, the attack at a Rainer to the south side still continues. This is not the same attack from before. It's another round of Lings that ran by, but this is him choosing not to overly commit to the defense, but to try and go for an attack. And it's something where this risk isn't paying off this time. And the Baneley's wrapping around the backside. Unfortunately, they're finding no bios, so the tanks are just sniping them off. This is a tough situation for Rainer. He's finding it very hard to actually get on top of this. But once he goes for the break, he's gonna get it. Lots of Zerglings, lots of Banelings, and not many tanks live through the initial engagement, meaning that this bio that kites back, well, it gets lifted up, but not really saved. There's an attempt to expand, by the way, as Sol takes 2 separate extra bases while this goes on. Continuing to keep the pressure on Rainer allowed him to do some of this, with the run-bys having been cut down a little bit, but without those being planetaries yet, Rainer should be able to pull off some of his famous run-bys, I would imagine. Right now, though, very focused at home, and what's interesting is he chose to go Ultras, kind of highlighting the production tab now. Chitinous plating is one thing, Ultras are the other, but this is something where, while we've been watching players go for it, I'm still not really convinced Ultras are back in the game. They are good initially, right? Okay, there's not Ghosts out, there's not Liberators out, so Marauders and Marines will struggle to deal with them. That's why Broodlords, I think, took a lot of popularity in the matchup. But once Sol starts adapting, I mean, he's already got the Ghost Academy down. All he's got to do is actually build the Ghosts. He can deal with this a lot better. Adrenal Lens is done, though, so this Lings take care of the tank really quick on the other side of the map, but the planetary shoos them away. Ultras have been revealed. Chitinous plating still not done, so tentative to get in here with that fight. He needs the Ultras to soak the shots from the tanks. That way the Baneleys can connect to the bio. Positioning here out of Sol, though, was great. Good posturing on that low ground. Now wraps in. Gets onto creep, though, and that's where the Ultras and the Lings are getting a lot of power back. These medevacs are low. The Queen's trying to snipe them off. One goes down, but it didn't have crew inside of it, so not too dangerous. Ghosts also began in production pretty much the second he saw the Ultras, so he's going to have those snipes coming into play soon. The steady targeting is a pretty good way to deal with big units, whether it's Ultras or Broodlords, but they're not going to do well if there's still a lot of Lings, and that's where I like this for Rainer. A lot of, I think, Zerg, they get to these Ultras and they start laying off the critical support units, and you put too much focus on the Ultras even. But Planetary is a bold move to go for. I don't know he would get this, even though it is exposed. However, the attack in the south and the attack in the north, there's a guaranteed base kill here somewhere, one would imagine. But the Ultras aren't targeting the SCVs. They aren't stopping the repair. But no building armor, and the top left goes down. Bottom right gets held, so the defense is okay, and he builds 2 more command centers in the face of adversity. 13 SCVs, though, in the planetary. Not the end of the world for Sol, but somebody who doesn't have a lot of cash to work with right now certainly didn't want to take that loss. Also, big shout out to Jesse. What? You've been here hanging out in chat? You just now hit the button? I know Jesse's been here for more than 2 months. He let his sub streak fall, though. Disappointing. But he made up for it because he gifted 50 subs that one day. So thank you very much, Jesse. Guys, can we get some tings in the chat? Can you write some Ting in the Twitch chat? Thank you, Jesse, for the resub. He says, if you guys are like Tetris, you should check out the World Classic Tetris Championships this weekend. We're sponsoring it. You'll be in Portland at the event. Well, that's cool. I've watched a lot of Tetris speedrunning on like Summer Games Done Quick. So if it's anything like that, that'll probably actually be really cool to check out. Hope you have some fun with it, man. Flotch also spamming some tings, but he does it with a 31-month resub on tier 3. Flotch, one of the few people who can type ace red and ace blue in the Twitch chat. Thank you for that, Flotch. The attack still continues. Soul's had a pretty strong foothold on this upper left side of the map for a long time now, and as you guys are witnessing, Raynor is actually struggling a lot to get in here. Steady targeting, trying to grab some of the queens and the ultras. It's a rough situation to be in for Raynor, because his counterattacks are not proving effective. He's grabbed a couple planetaries, but I mean, it's been at such an expensive cost of lings and ultras. The resources lost here do not favor Raynor. It's one of those things, though, where he had money, and he still does at the moment have the income to afford these losses, but at some point he runs out of cash when these bases go down. Now, I really like the fungal growth, but it misses 2 of the ghosts in the back line. Infestors will be able to prevent the steady targeting from getting their shots off, but as the links are taking out the tanks, Soul might finally be pushed back out of its position. Also, Raynor constantly drawing that Ultralisk back. This thing is the world's biggest cat. It's been transfused like a dozen times. Sadly, it finally dies, but not before doing what it needed to do. That's taking out the remaining 3 tanks. So a lot of transfuses, got a lot of good use out of that Ultralisk. Some of the chat saying late game, this is where Raynor gets tested. That's interesting. I would look at it the other way around, but I guess I've been so on the Raynor hype train, I forgot that Soul's really good at using ghosts. So far, so good, too, with his positioning. But Raynor did expand to the bottom right, so while this has been problematic, it wasn't the end of the world. This base is also lifted up. I kind of want to highlight something Gumio and Cure, 2 great Terran players I can think of off the top of my head, have been doing that Soul not. But hold on. Actually, as I say this, we got a really big attack on 2 fronts. He does pick up and go behind the mineral lines. A really big, risky move here for Soul. On the other side of the map, though, the Lings do get double run-bys to the natural and to the 3rd base. 11 SCVs go down to this. But a lot of the Korean Terrans have been shifting to this state of the meta now where they're actually not taking planetary fortresses at their 4th and even 3rds or anything like that, but instead orbital command centers. And I guess there's advantages to talk about through extra mules and scans, obviously. That comes naturally, but the interesting part of it that I hadn't considered and we kind of got to witness a little bit of with Raynor versus Gumiho yesterday is you can save orbitals. You can't save planetaries a lot of the time. Rarely, if there's ultras and banlies on top of it, will that thing survive. Oh, that's a big pick-off for Soul. And lifting it gives more power. But Soul just sniped the spawning pool, something Raynor wasn't expecting to have gone down, so he now loses his ability to build Zerglings, which of course have been the bread, butter, and buffer for his army, with almost 1,000 having died this game. I do want to talk a little bit about the dynamic of steady targeting too, for just anyone who's not really too familiar with Terran. As you can witness, it's pretty OP and it's getting a lot of kills. But if anything shoots it, whether it's a queen, a fungal growth tick, any damage done to a ghost will interrupt the steady targeting, and they'll lose the damage that comes with it. While this went on, though, Soul set up not 1, not 2, but 3 Liberators in the bottom right with a full denial of his base. Not even larva can spawn, as we are currently witnessing. Raynor, down workers, down bases, no bank left to fall back on, and I didn't even catch this, but his upgrades fell off too. Raynor not on +3 melee. Oh boy. This is a tough situation for him to be in, and I don't know if he can still fight this out. Especially with his bases being denied like this. Income was so key for this game, but the Liberator Blitz, the late game Liberator Blitz, you find a Zerg player who's invested in 769 Zerglings, 9 Ultralisks, Infestors. Rarely did we see any anti-air come out this game, so it makes sense that these Liberators would cause so much damage, but it is directly cause and effect, right? Raynor didn't have anti-air because he hasn't needed anti-air. Now that the Liberators are in play, we're going to see more Infestors, we're going to see more Corruptors likely. This base is going to go down. Oh, damn it, I've been muted. Thank you, guys. I had a big cough attack. I'm not sure why I'm having such trouble with the mute button today. But I don't even remember what it said. Something about the infestors dying sucking. There you go. All right, now you're caught up. Top left drop is a little cheeky. The hatchery goes up, but I don't know what much I can do. The worst part about this, though, for Raynor, going back to what I said about the infestors getting picked off, that you didn't hear because I was muted, is he doesn't have a lot of reliable anti-air. Corruptors can obviously get a little bit done, and frankly, they don't take a lot of damage from Marines, but they will get sniped off by ghosts, and Raynor doesn't have a very reliable way to deal with the Liberators, unfortunately. So his tech is starting to really fall apart. If it did come down to a full-on base trade, which it hasn't yet, Soul's definitely in a better spot. I mean, he lost those planetaries, but the orbitals could easily be lifted over. Instead, he's just building new command centers because he's got the money for it. And I mean, I am a little surprised to see Raynor be the one down and out for this. But right now, this game, as long as Soul doesn't throw it away, he's got a pretty hardcore lead. A pretty game-winning lead. Oh my god, the Corruptors actually run away from Liberators. You don't see this too often, but because they are so damaged from those snipes, splash damage will actually kill 3 of them. Oh, a couple transfuses try and keep these alive, but the Corruptors are going down. There's a Ling run by in the bottom left, and they're picking up some SCVs. This is nice, but Soul's got 50-something SCVs to lose, combined with the fact that he's got mules from 4 orbitals, excuse me. This fight doesn't even go that well for Raynor either, even though he gets some good chops in here. Not a lot of buffer left. Just 4 ultras that could be liberated or steady targeted. Raynor's getting a lot, though. To be clear, he's in a bad way, like, seriously out of the game in a bad way, but he is making the most happen with what he has available to him. But there's the GG, and map number 1! Gonna go to Soul. Geralt beat a laser? Wait, I haven't seen the brackets yet. Did that happen? It did. Wow, laser's really struggling ZVP lately. That's unfortunate. Or maybe he doesn't want to reveal too much. I don't know. Actually, no, because the laser didn't make it to BlizzCon, right? It was Lambo who did. The laser's still, like, a really good Zerg player. I'm just shocked to see him have these struggles. Alright, Parasite for game 2. Give me just a moment here, guys, while I host up the next game in this best of 5. Okay. Everyone's in the lobby, just waiting for them to say go. Alright, Parasite, map 2. Please enjoy this clip of Wardy doing something really cringe in the downtime. This sounds like something I would like to do instead of watching the intro.
I think I make a good line. Sorry, I forgot my final line.
Okay, let's hop into Parasite. See you guys in game. Okie dokie, here we are, game 2 in a best of 5. Hopping into this in the top left, he's down 1 at the moment. Hopefully he doesn't fall out here, but we do have the blue Zerg. Ever talented, playing for Exceed, it's Raynor. And it's on the bottom right, the red Terran up 1-0. It's Soul. People are asking what I was reacting to. That was the clip Bacon Hero has posted in the Twitch chat, if you want to check that out. I love Wardy. He's as goofy as I am. But I like the kid. But alright. People have been talking about Ting a little bit in chat. I want to give you guys the TLDR, hopefully, to blanketly answer some of the questions we've been seeing commonly as people were asking, what is Ting? Ting is a US mobile phone service available only in the United States. However, what they do differently. A lot of phone services lock you into contracts, and that's how they make their money. It's not about offering you a great deal, it's about trying to tie you to them for a year or longer. Ting breaks the mold. God, this sounds like I've been given a script to read, but Ting breaks the mold by not tying you to a contract. They let you pay for what you use, and you can stop at any time you'd like. Luckily, the average phone bill on Ting is like $25 or less. And the highlight is, you can get $25 off your phone bill or off of something in the Ting shop by using bttv.ting.com. So it's the perfect thing. You can try them for free, essentially. Definitely worth looking into. But, well, that is definitely the informative, you could argue, sellout side of it. The reason I really like Ting, respect Ting, and have enjoyed working with Ting is because they do stuff like offer you a savings calculator up on the website. That way, you can compare whether it's even worth swapping to their services. And they're not looking to, like, game the system. They'll tell you straight up, to your face, on that savings calculator, if they can't save you money. It's pretty cool. Anyways, as far as the opening here, Raynor does come across the map with his lings, but the Overlord, which is barely surviving, sees an unconventional Marine, but does also see the conventional Reaper. So for Raynor, there's not really a lot he can do. He'd love to get in there, pick off the SCV, building the command center. Not gonna happen. Someone whose name I will not be reading out loud because I know what that word is. Rifkin, I love your map intros. I honestly can't believe other people don't do them, especially considering how important the map topography is to the game. It's extra. I'm just extra. I know Fear Dragon, a nice username, makes some map intros, but and this isn't meant to be mean or even critical, but I don't personally like them because they show off some cool battles, but not really the map. You could argue they do because it shows you a different point of view, but looking at the map from angles like this is not really a good point of view of the map, in my opinion. I don't know. It's not I'm better or worse. I'm just saying they do different styles, but they do map intros as well. But yeah, I think I got a lot of inspiration for map intros when WCS did them. I was honestly a little sad. Because one of the things I really enjoyed about it was A, it covers up the boring load screen, which doesn't show you much. But when WCS did them, it was also just like a really hype way to lead into the game. Now, I obviously don't do it as professionally or well, because this is like Rifkin, not a production team doing it. Like, if you guys don't know, I make the map intros, find the music, all that stuff. But yeah, I miss when WCS would do them, to be honest with you guys. I wish we'd go back to that a little bit. Anyways, going back to what's at hand here, it's bio, it's nothing weird. Soul is definitely a guy we've seen and have cast play mech, but bio against Raynor being the weapon of choice here. A couple Hellions running down the left side of the map, but the Lings also running by, and with the Hellions not at home, these Marines quickly get surrounded by the Lings. Oh, this is where he freshly had just dropped some mules too, so normally losing mining time is pretty bad. Losing 3 mules worth of mining time is really bad. Couple of SCVs die with this too, but those mules are so valuable and so precious. That mining time is gonna really hurt. This Ling run by was great for Raynor. He of course establishes a third base on the backside of this while this goes on, and he's not making a lot of drones. It's kind of all-in territory. I see this tentatively, but I think we can confidently say now with the Ravagers morphing in, he is committing to this. Ravagers will be really nice for this. There's no bunker up yet, but he can nuke it down if it does go up. Roaches can also take the hits from the Hellions. As long as those two Hellions go down, the Lings will flood in behind this. As you can see, Soul now prioritizing, trying to get the wall down. It comes too late. He realizes this too. Cancels the tech lab, gets a Cyclone. He needs all hands on deck, because there's no wall to stop this attack from pushing its way into the base. What's worse too is he's dropped supply. He lost the time on the mules. He's had to drop supply on the depots to not be supply blocked. He's going to have to do it again in a second. He's got 2 more depots coming down. Command Center, the 3rd, is surrounded, but lifts us up. Okay, not going to die there. But the thing about the supply depot is that thing's going to die to the Ravagers most likely, and if that goes down, that's really going to hurt Soul's supply. Two medevacs boldly leave the base. This is a huge gamble that Soul is taking. What Soul's doing with this is saying that Raynor's going to be focused on the natural and not looking elsewhere. Unfortunately, though, even though he does unload and catches Raynor a little off guard, there's just so many Zerglings, he can't actually break the attack. The siege, if you will. Hurt One asks an interesting question in chat. I'll answer that in a moment, though. Hold the phone. As it ties in with the upgrades currently coming down into play. Carapace starts up as the priority over Melee. Melee comes up next with Bailey Nest started up. So Raynor gives up the positioning for now. He still did so much damage to this, though. Like, yes, there's 3 CCs and 3 mules at a time. Great. Soul's economy, not the worst that it could be, but the fact that he lost so much time mining. Like, this was Raynor just the second the attack began to now. And it's a huge amount of money Raynor now has over his opponent. But Hurt One asks, considering this is a Marine mostly army, wouldn't it make sense to get the +1 Carapace before the all-in? To go for a +1 Carapace this early is really expensive, not just in terms of gas that you don't really have available in the early game, but also timing. More valuable through timing to hit with these attacks than it is to wait for the upgrade a lot of the time. It's not a bad idea that you have, though, because it would reduce the amount of damage that Soul could do, but the idea is that you want to do damage to Soul with an earlier, bigger army, not with a better upgrade, if that makes sense. Tank unloads in the mineral line. Funny enough, the drones are somewhat safe because they're in the dead zone, but the Lings can't get in here as the Marines are protected by the mineral lines. Only 4 drones die so far. But the tank going down will stop the attack from rooting its spot here, and looks like Raynor can get back to mining pretty quick. Still, though, grabbing a queen on the end of this, gonna mess with injects a little bit. Creep spread 2, maybe? And, oh, this base is unprotected. This is also where he chose to put down the Spire, which Soul will see plain as day as these Marines focus down. Oh, some drones. Got a little bit tight there with the Bailey's walking in. He wasn't quite expecting that. It goes back to the main. Lings were left here, so it's not a completely caught off guard attack. Is that a Reaper? There's a Reaper in this drop. That's a Reaper. I don't know how I feel. Ooh, nice predictive corrosive bile. That grabs a medevac. Oh, mules. Once again, freshly dropped mules being plucked off by Raynor. Oof. Oh, Pat wants to know how to do the Ting emote. Yeah, we made it. So if you guys missed the story, I'll TLDR this. Jesse came in and bombed 50 subs while we were celebrating some sub goals. He didn't know it at the time, but he unlocked a new emote for us. So we just, like, as a bit of a fun thing, made a Ting emote. It's not going to be permanent, but I figured, you know what? We got Ting Season 5. Jesse's awesome. We'll keep the Ting emote around for the tournament. Also, hey, there we go. Daiso just gifted us up to Pat. So now Pat can just type Ace Ting in the chat, and boom. There you go. Dares, well, I know this is a funny thing for you. It's not for me, so I'm going to ask you to stop, because I don't want to have to start timing out mods. The attack completely deflected over here, by the way. Soul, good hold with this tank and great positioning. That was the 3rd CC lift up for the main, though. So he's not an extraordinary amount of command centers. Medevac's flying all over the place, but this is where the mutas start coming into play a little bit. It's not going to help kill the Marines by any means, but it will stop the medevacs from getting too out of control, because that lift up thing is going to be super annoying to have to chase constantly. The Marines are so low, though, they start dying to the ricochet, and that glaive worm bounce is a real pain in the ass. This medevac also getting to the main base is super low. Rainer's Queen was not in position to finish it off, but with the medevac being low as it is, there we go, now dies. That's the end of the attacks. And Rainer, I want to highlight something about the mini-map right now. An astonishing lack of creep due to Soul's constant aggression. So this is, despite the fact died, still worked out okay for Soul. The problem is now, though, there's Bailey's coming in with an overwhelming attack force just outside the front gates, doubling the army supply nearly. He's got +2 carapace, so he can take a couple of more shots in some of these units, and even though this is all off of creep, oh, this might just be too much. The Muta's also, okay, they soaked some Widowmine shots in the main, not what he wanted to do, but he's hoping to distract. Medevacs load up and bring the Marines into the main base, meaning nothing's here to protect the tanks. The Bailings just roll through. It's a massacre. The command center dies to splash damage. The 4th one is killed, not canceled. GG's get called. And in one fell swoop, Rainer takes game 2 away from Soul. But folks, we're going to go to a scheduled break. So we'll just be gone for 2 minutes, no more. And when we get back, we'll see what Game 3 has in store for us. Thank you for watching. Okay, we're back. It's the best of 5 qualifying match still at hand. Things are tied up 1-1. Spotting at the top left, we have the blue Zerg Raynor. I can't go to Fracture. I'm just an analyst. At the bottom right, we have the red Terran Soul, who has gone for a bit of a proxy. Raynor should be expecting this, though, with a smaller map. Pretty obvious tactics, but man, I'm a little bit bummed. Hang on, where's the locations? No, it's not working. So I was a little bit curious. We've actually got a lot of people tuning in for Qualifier on a Monday, which is nice. This is great. Yesterday we had a lot of viewers too. Yeah, I'm gonna cough. I hate being sick. So I mean, obviously, firsthand, thank you guys for watching. It's more impressive though that we get these viewers when we're not in the front page. Feels good, man, right? But I was hoping to look and see. I've got my stats open in front of me, and it shows me like where a lot of the viewers come from, right? Like 64% of the viewers tuning in came from the following page. 26% from the browse page, a small percent from Team Liquid, etc., etc. But normally what it does is it shows you where they're coming in from. But it's not loading that information right now, which is a little frustrating because I was going to start pandering to the crowd. Like, shout out to Germany, #2, or US, #1. I mean, typically, most of our broadcasts are majority US viewers, no matter what the time zone is. But still, a little bit of a bummer that's not working right now. I bring this up because I saw someone mention they were from Australia in the Twitch chat. And I love me some Australia. But Raynor does perhaps a more exaggerated version of the defense we saw him do earlier, bringing a lot of drones to try and catch these Marines and SCVs. It's so costly for him to do this. He's always going to be up a couple of workers just due to the nature of the build. So you're allowed to lose a drone or two, and you can pull for some time, but if you spend too much time away, too far away, and you don't actually delay this, which so far the drones haven't, this ends up just being an incredible loss of mining. Now, if he kills a drone or an SCV and stops the bunker from going down, that's very helpful, obviously, but it's going to be difficult to do with the Marines already on top of him like this. Lings go for the attack, the bunkers still build. If you can't kill the bunkers, you might as well just kill the Marines. And if you kill the Marines, then same mission accomplished. But looks like he will get both the SCVs. Oh, almost. Almost. There we go. Losing the workers, though, makes this a lot more costly for Raynor, and this is not the most solid defense you've ever seen out of a Zerg. But he maintains a relatively good drone count at the end of this. He has stopped the bunkers from going down. And with the creep spread coming out too, Soul cannot reestablish this. And, oh, a misvalued Marine's gonna suck there. It's a bit of a wrap. A little unfortunate there for Soul. But keep in mind, game 1, Soul's proxy was also shut down, yet still brought the game back to victory. So this was an opener more than a dedicated all-in. However, he's still building Marines, and he's actually not left his barracks to retreat yet, which I feel we see happen pretty commonly. The Overlord on the other side of the map too scouts the quick command center on the high ground. He knows the factory was put at home. Raynor's got all the information he needs for this game, but sorry, it's being stuffed up here. He doesn't have a lot of defense at the moment. Queens are pretty good though, as we can see. And take a lot of hits. Zerglings get some damage in too. Looks like the Marines have been cleaned up. Not a terrible resource to resource trade though. Why is somebody from New Jersey calling me right now? I almost want to just answer this on phone or on stream and do a troll, but I think I'll just hang it up instead. Context for those who don't know, I'm in Canada. Like, what the F? Hey, it's your cousin Vinny! From New Jersey! What? That's not even an accent, right? Alright, so holds this off. He sees the barracks lift. He knows that the assault is over for now. But the problem still is there's a follow-up for Soul that ends up being Hellions, and that won't be fun to chase around. If the commander had greedily been placed on the low ground, maybe Raynor could have run in and done some Ling magic, as he does, but no. Let's transferring over now. Deft Flutter comes in with a Twitch Prime sub. Thank you kindly for that. Wait, now they're texting me. Hang on, what? Hey, what time can I come over and pick up that flower vase? What? It's like some sort of Craigslist thing? You, sir, may not have my flower vase. I don't even have one. See if he replies to that or not. Alright. Natural base for Soul. Of course, heavily delayed. Does finally get established. The orbital's finished building. He'll get those mules down. Raynor actually stops to mess around with an SCV on the supply depot. Unfortunately for him, that means he wasn't aware of the Hellbat push that's coming, but with roaches, he'll be well defended. He's also not going to get those freshly dropped mules, which kind of sucks too. Although one mule was pulled off to the side, so Soul still loses out on that. I mean, okay, to lose a mule is not the same as losing 230 or 300 or whatever minerals it's worth, right? But that's money that you should have been able to just mine with, have in your pocket. That's an extra barracks you could have put down for production. Like, losing the mule like that, and you're losing this one just pulling it away, not mining, it is costly, just in a very different way. Have you told the guy on the phone about hover? Oh, that's what I should do. I should just respond and try and sell him on Ting. Like, sorry, I can't receive your messages because you're not messaging me from a Ting phone. Please go to bttv.ting.com and get a Ting phone in order to get this flower vase. These roaches did a pretty good job with the counterattack. Even saving off a cyclone there is impressive. The medevac in the top left has also been pretty much shut down with 22 health. Her best bet is to fly away. She's not going to be able to fly in anytime soon. The weirdest text I got from a wrong number, I think I did this on Discord, it wasn't on stream. Someone sent me a picture of their baby. So I jokingly responded, said, that baby looks delicious. You know, it's like, it's a messed up comment, but it's supposed to be to get a messed up answer. The response I got back from that, though, was like, because the baby was dressed up as Batman, or he had like Batman jammies on or something. Something about like how he could defeat Bane, so it didn't matter how he tasted. I can't remember. It was a weird text thing, and I'm just like, look, I'm not dealing with this. I'm out. And I just like, I deleted the text chain. I'm like, this isn't worth trolling. This guy's weirder than I am. Anyways, the Spore Crawler advance to the front line is actually kind of a cool move. Overseer's not readily available, mostly due to the fact that this is still hatchery tech, not lair tech. So if you wanted a way to deal with the Banshees, Queens can shoot up, and that's great, but they wouldn't be able to see them. So the creep spread, I mean, this is Fracture. This is, on a normal map, the creep spread isn't so crazy, but he's already in Soul's base almost. He's going to have that Spore Crawler to fall back if the Banshees get really out of hand. Transfuses on the Queen should win them the air fight, and the Roaches and Ravagers are destroying the ground. Soul, oh no. The SCVs get pulled to repair the Banshees, so the Corrosive Bile actually picks them up. Soul's taking a lot of damage from this. The Banshee's actually almost going down to the Corrosive Bile. That should not happen. Oh, 10 workers go down. Soul's now looked on 34 SCVs, while Raynor enjoys 63 across 3 bases. Do people actually troll wrong numbers? I don't know if people do. I do. Welcome to me. Oh, a nice Corrosive Bile actually lands on top of that Banshee. The creep spread continues to advance. You know, this creep spread is at a point where it's going to start denying Soul's third. So, like, even if Soul were to somehow, some way hold on, he would still bleed out eventually to having no money. The game of attrition, if you will. Deft Flutter is new here. Say hello. Didn't you just sub? I'm confused. Hello, nonetheless. The 3 Banshees are a lot of damage, but the Spore Crawler and the Queens are also a lot of damage, so they got to be very careful about where they go. But the creep is at the point where Soul actually can't even build a wall off to his natural. The creep is physically blocking that from happening. What a crazy game. Now keep in mind, this is all like, Soul, you brought this on yourself by going for the proxy, right? And that's probably what Raynor's feeling. Very justified with this kind of cheesy attack, frankly. But Soul's finally getting his siege tank out. It's taken a long time to get to this point. Stim is done, so his army can fight a little bit better than it was before. He really wants to kill that command center. If that command center dies, that alone might be GG territory. But the Spore Crawlers shoot the command center while it's in the sky. The Corrosive Bile start landing on top of it, plus the SCVs. It's on 100. It's on triple digits of health. It's getting repaired. The mass repair, though, is making Soul run out of money. He actually can't repair. He's out of cash. GG. Raynor takes game 3. Now asserting dominance with a 2-1 lead. But it's not over yet. He still has to actually close this out, as it's not a best of 3. It is a best of 5. So just a little bit more. One more game to go before it's all said and done. I haven't seen anyone mention it in a while, and bringing it up may be a mistake, but I'm hoping the sound, not my microphone. I know my microphone sounds good. I hope the sound is working out well for everybody, though, because we had talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm a little bit sad I can't rock the surround sound. But, if it sounds good to you guys, then I'm plenty happy with that. Acid Plant will be the next game, by the way, so hosting this up really quick. As we get the players into the game, again, reminding you guys that we have one other best of 5 we're still casting. We have a, no, not a laser, excuse me, a laser died. It's Bly versus Gung Fu Banda in the other qualifier match. Which is surprising, I must say. But a laser couldn't be on top forever, man. Your hair looks nice today, does it? This is bedhead hair. This is like, there's no product or anything in this. This is like, I woke up for the cast and my hair feels greasy and looks like shit, but thank you for the compliment. I'll take it. All right. Soul says he's ready. Rainer has not joined the lobby. Oh, what? Oh, sorry, Geralt. Thank you guys for correcting me. I saw, I'm like, look, I'm in the game right here. Hang on. Like, look, I'm not just crazy pants. I'm looking and I'm reading Gung Fu Panda's name as I'm intending to say Geralt. Excuse me. So, yeah, it's Geralt. Bly? Yeah, guys, we'll see Bly. Bly versus Geralt in the other qualifying match. Anyways, the players are ready. Let's hop in AS to Plant. See you guys in game. Ooh, taking a little bit longer than normal to load into the game, but that's okay. Sell the vase riff. Oh yeah, did you reply? No, sadly not yet. All right, game number 4 kicks off, and it's match point now, as he is now on his last life. To the lower right side of the map, we have the blue Terran player Soul. And in the upper left, we have the red Zerg Raynor. Raynor's so bad, he's not even GM. I know, right? God, he's like a lot of these NA kids. Can't even get GM. Jesus. Oh, I like this joke about Zerglings in chat. Yo, what if we had Zerg Tings? That'd be like the sickest map mod. When they attack, they make that little, like, you know, that ting sound effect that they have in their commercials? That would be so obnoxious. I don't know if that would be cool or obnoxious, actually. Jesse, don't follow up on that idea. Ah, but you know what? Actually, well, I don't know if Jesse's still in chat, and this isn't a sell. This is actually asking for feedback from you guys. We have, we're setting up the Mediterranean, and one of the big things we're doing for it is, of course, adding stretch rewards and goals. Like, you guys remember last season, we ended up having show matches and backflips and other things. We're kind of at a bit of a loss on what cool, like really cool and great ideas to put on the stretch goals for the Match Arena page when it gets up and publicized. So if you guys have any great ideas of things you'd love to see reward tiers for, like, hey, if we reach, you know, this amount of money raised, then this will happen. Like, hit us up with the ideas. Like, don't message me now in Twitch chat. I'll forget anything you write. Like, it's like, as soon as it's out of Twitch chat, it's out of my brain. But tweet it myself, tweet it Jesse, post it in the Discord. There's a Ting Discord, there's a Basetradetv Discord. Like, if you've got ideas and you want to see it happen, it's as easy as just asking. Worst case scenario, we say, nah, it's not a great idea. Duddles says my social security. Why, Duddles? What am I going to do with that information? Do I look like an Indian phone scammer? By the way, speaking of like bad phone things, so this is part of why I like trolling, right? Because a lot of the phone calls I've been getting lately have been scams. I'm getting those like super scam CRA messages from the Canadian Revenue Agency that's like, attention, you've messed up a filing on your tax report. If you don't pay $300 by this date, you will be arrested. And I'm like, I've watched enough Kit Boga and other people who like to do the phone troll stream to like those scammers out there to know that this is bullshit. So I've really enjoyed doing my own. I don't stream it, I don't record it, but I've enjoyed kind of messing with those guys lately too. Because seriously, like 90% of the phone calls I've gotten from people I don't know have been some kind of scam. It's ridiculous. That exact same scam is running like crazy in the US. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Hey, Maroon Pirate! Don't have anyone to give my free sub to. Sadness. Well, thank you for subbing here for 30 months. Dude, Maroon Pirate, I have missed saying your friendly name in chat, though, man. Thank you for coming back. Ooh, Overlord. It's in a little bit deep. I don't think it's in danger of dying to the Marine. It should be able to reach safety, but sees the starport, sees the reactor on the factory, so Raynor now knows what Soul's going to have available to him. Soul is, by the way, going for an armory behind this, so we will see Hellbats at some point. Kind of a predictable thing, though, so I don't know if this will be a thing or not. by a thing, I meant surprise. Sorry, I got caught up reading chat again. Gotta stop doing that when I'm solo casting. The armory not yet scattered, but Raynor will see this shortly. However, he might just see the Hellbats actually transformed before that. Either way, a medevac booster on the left side of the map. We'll keep an eye on Raynor's vision. He does see this with the Lings. Oh, look at that, guys. All he needed, that glimpsed in there for like not even 1 full second. And that was all the info he needed to react to this. He hops up in the main base, already got that surround. Medevac's being attacked by the Queen. Okay, the Hellbats are a bit of a surprise and perhaps more of an issue than Raynor initially realized, but still, on top of the drop, these don't get to walk into the mineral lines. I mean, one of the things too is Hellbats, you just walk away from them. It's like the greatest flaw. But that Medevac has been chipped away to death. We got a heli run by to the left side. Lings respond to this because all the Queens are up at the main base. And they will deal with the situation. A little bit rough around the edges here. These Hellbats actually transform and find a good spot in the mineral line, so maybe not so easy for Raynor, but keep in mind through this, he is not losing a lot of drones, and that's what's pretty key. There's a Liberator follow-up too, so if a lot of the Queens died, there might not be anti-air to deal with the round 2 punch, but with 5 Queens still in play, the Hellbats being cleaned up, Soul doesn't look like he'll be getting away with much. And in fact, the Overlord gets that full scout in the main to see the Liberator. He even sees the timing and the angle at which the Liberator leaves the base. So Raynor really should be prepared for this. I'd be surprised if he wasn't. No background music. Are you guys not hearing the... Did I mute the desktop by mistake? You should be hearing the background sounds. Although that could just be one guy in chat. Now I'm overly correcting. So before I fiddle... Hurt One says he hears music. Okay, that's fine then. Yo, speaking of Hurt One, this guy. If you guys missed it, he's one of the Patreons who's been having me cast his replays. Thank you, by the way, for that support. That stuff goes towards YouTube and otherwise. I think he posted one. I'd have to go double check. I think he posted a replay I got to cast for this month though. So depending how long today's cast goes, we may just actually try and do that live here since I see him in Twitch chat, but otherwise I'll have to do it another time. It's been a busy month with a lot of sickness. I haven't had a lot of free time, which sucks. Yes, there's one waiting for you. Excellent. Thank you, dude. There's a replay cast reward here? Yeah, Melty, we even actually just recently reduced the price on it by $5 as well. Because I figured why not? I was having a lot of fun with the bad replay casts. And the emphasis is bad. I'm sorry, Hurt One. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. But I will say, as bad as it was, that very first one you submitted with the probes was really funny. I actually enjoyed that. That felt like a real when cheese fails type of nostalgia. Really, you guys say the music's pretty low, huh? I'll have to look into that. I can't fix it right now, but I'll look into that. Part of this might just be the new headphone settings, too, I was talking about earlier. So, I am taking all feedback to heart, so I can try and make sure any other show we bring up, it's going to be good and dandy. Oh, Diet Soda just gifted a sub to Hurt One. Thank you, Diet Soda. Daciod. Pat. Tank goes down. Marines shoo off the Zerglings, and Raynor is doing just stellar this game. Last game he ran away with it. A lot of that had to do with the creep spread. You know, that active push into the natural base, but I mean, the vision that this provides, it's proven to be very difficult for Soul to find an angle of attack which he can hit. Also, speaking of awesome subs, X5 Pig. I think I've heard of that guy before. He's like he streams on that their Twitch website, right? Is he one of them Twitchers? Pig, thank you for the 30 months, dude. Pig's, speaking of fun replays, I just mentioned I've been doing that through Patreon. Pig's been doing a lot of these fun challenges he's been casting. I can never remember how to pronounce the name of the abbreviation he's made for it, but if you guys are interested in fun, goofy, and potentially having your replays cast, you should definitely check out Pig. More than just a pretty face on WCS. Surround here in the middle. Pushes those medevacs back. He's got a wall up on the right side, so for Soul, there's a little bit of peace of mind. He can just focus on the middle and the left side of the map, not worry about a run by from the top. But Raynor's not going to come in with a couple of Zerglings. He's going to come in with a couple of Banelings at some point, and that wall will not hold up. It's also worth noting that Raynor, despite moving towards Hydralisk, has still put a lot of emphasis towards his melee. I think this happens a lot, where it would be nice to get the ranged weapon upgrades out there, but For Raynor especially, this guy, Mr. Zergling himself, it makes a lot more sense to invest in the melee attack. Scan on the left side. Nicely done. The beauty of the Hydras, though, is while they don't have great upgrades in terms of like shooting the Marines down, they're still going to be just as effective to shoot the medevacs down. Although vehicle plating does start, and I like this, it'll give the medevacs a little bit more durability, and Widow Mines and tanks and Liberators. Unfortunately, it doesn't add much to damage. That being said, your damage comes from the Marines, your damage comes from the Bio, and 2-2 will be done here shortly for Soul. But man, Raynor's at a point where his army is looking fantastic. What's he actually got unit-wise right now? 84 Zerglings, 14 Hydras, and what I'm sure is soon to be a lot of Banelings added into the mix. And the best part is with all this creep spread, like, okay, it's getting cleaned up, scans are going into this, drops are committing, but all the creep spread that is even currently on the map is just all that extra speed. This has been such fantastic play to Raynor, and this is so obnoxious! Zombie Grub talks about this, and now I'm really getting mad and livid. It's like, you work so hard, you spend all this time, you clean up some of the creep, and the queens are just like, we just like poop out of a tumor. There's almost no consequences because I did it like right away. Okay, that's being a little shitty. That's my Terran bias coming through. Give me that one, guys, all right? Creep is kind of bullshit, but Raynor has very much been very active about his creep, not just in this game, but in the previous games too. So, deserving of the control he gets from this, but also from the speed benefit he'll have for the attacks. And these drops are still happening. Now, in previous game, we'd seen Raynor go for Mutalisks as a way to help deal with the drops. I kind of had hoped that's what we'd see a little bit of, but he's doing such a great job at dealing with the drop once it unloads that he doesn't really need to deal with the medevac itself. Although this is a bit of an awkward problem. He's got transfuses, but he's not looking at the queens right now. He's chasing around those medevacs, so Queen dies with a lot of energy, but the Liberator is dealt with. Doesn't really mess up with the mining at all. Worker kill count on both sides is actually astoundingly low, considering how scrappy things have been in this entire best of 5. And I guess if you are just tuning in, or you've joined recently, this is a qualifier match. The winner of this goes through to Ting Season 5, and the loser will sadly be out, and just pray that they get an invite later on down the road. As with people like Snoot and others declining their invites, we do have extra invite spots to hand out. 25 Banelings starting up now, though. That's pretty nice. Adding on to the 23 he already has. Not quite a round 50, but 48's damn close to being a scary number. Ooh. Okay, well, Raynor, I feel bad saying this, but he just kind of comes out swinging his big dick around him. He made, was it 25 Banelings? He had no problem, quote-unquote, wasting them into the Planetary Fortress. That was not a trade that, like, numerically works out for Raynor, but asserting dominance, clarifying that he is the alpha male in this matchup, and he can use Banelings however he wants. Ooh, this attack starts breaking the tanks. The bottom side may have been a little wasteful and expensive. The Hydras might not hold up. A lot of them are wasting shots on that Planetary. I think that if Raynor had either committed to killing the Planetary or the tanks, he would have gotten one or the other. Unfortunately, having split his DPS, he gets neither. But while this goes on, Banelings roll into what is the plan. Oh, well, it's not a Planetary, but one is an orbital. Lifts it up to save it, which is nice. Trades out for the Marines, which is still pretty good. And, this is getting questionable for Raynor. He's got a large mineral bank, not a crazy large gas bank, and as he moves towards these late tech units like Ultralisks and finishes up his 3-3, gas becomes very valuable. Chitinous is on the way. Yep. +2 armor for the Ultras on top of the +3 Carapace. No +3 melee though. Cancer is lifted once again. This is the beauty. This is, like, right here is a highlight moment of why I think we're seeing Gumiho and Cure and many others really give up on the idea of planetary fortresses. Because, like, a planetary to repair it even is very expensive. But if you could just lift the base and cancel the attack, I really like that. And I think that's why we're seeing Gumiho and others do it. Just moments like what we saw there with a run by. Quick response, and it's kind of a set it, forget it. You don't have to defend it type situation. Taking a quick peek at the army trades over the course of the game, though, is not an option. Oh, is this not using Game Heart? I can't show you guys the income graph, apparently. Oh, okay, that sucks. Oh well. Not the end of the world. I was going to highlight, though, that I think Raynor has been losing a lot of these trades, but that goes back to the money. Now, this orbital does go down this time around. Ooh, that's a little rough. Bailing's looking to crash into the planetary on this side. 2 bases down for Sol. Oh, no, 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 no. Raynor doesn't get it. Oh, that's a big mistake. Even if he lost the Ultra to go for the attack, that would have really crippled the economy out of Sol. But having used all of those Bailings and lost, was it 2 Ultralisks to not kill this planetary? Was a terrible loss for Raynor. But he does still have things like money and economy to afford these losses. Resources loss isn't that far behind, but now we're getting to the late game. And if you guys recall, the one game Sol won was the really late game. He had a lot of good control with Ghosts. Raynor was not doing well with the Ultras in the late game. And I fear that we may see a similar situation to that, because Sol's economy has not been hampered like it was even in that game. Because that was what, game 1? That also started off with that proxy. This game around was not as crazy. People were pointing out the high APM at a Raynor. Here's the problem, guys, right? It looks impressive, and you're like, damn, he must be finger flying across the keyboard, but with Zerg and the egg mechanic and rallying, your APM will get artificially high. That's why TLO pulls off like 1,000 APM like it's nothing. He takes out all these tanks, which should be a nice trade, but he loses a ton of Ultras to the Ghosts. The Banlings were expensive too, and highlighting the fact once more that gas is incredibly valuable to Raynor also makes it incredibly expensive to lose this late into the game. As the Lings get on top of the Ghosts, they can actually stop the steady targeting, which is nice. So no Stipes means the Ultras might live, but oh, this is starting to get real scrappy for Raynor. Picking up in the medevacs, though, Sol gets out of there with some of the expensive units like the tanks alive, and the Planetary Fortress to fall back to is not too shabby. It's not producing more Ghosts, though, which I find interesting. Having 3 isn't too bad for steady targeting, but it's not going to be reliable. Oh, this is a nice kill for Raynor. Even if it's a cancel, it's still a deny on this base. Something where Sol really wishes he was mining off of it a long time ago. And this might be part of why we're not seeing a lot of Ghosts in production. 150 minerals with 125 gas, I think it is. Very expensive units. You can't just pump out en masse if you don't have the money for it. So that base is pretty critical. I think Raynor's setting up to kill the SCVs down here too, by the way. Ultra gonna lead the charge. Distraction on the right, which means no army will be here on the left. The Liberator does get distracted. It doesn't see this coming though, and Raynor... Oh no! Well, the orbital dying with this should not have happened. That's for damn sure. Sorry, I had that cough. I couldn't mute it. Yummy. But the bailing attack was pretty nasty, and Sol's trying to do some counterattack damage, but it's some pretty weak drops. It's a Liberator that gets caught early. Sol's putting up a good fight. I even love the extra bunkers that are coming down, but... he really needs one big definitive army fight to win. If he keeps trading out like this, he's just not going to have the same money Raynor have to remax, and that's kind of what we're witnessing even here. Like, the Ultras go down, it looks a little frivolous. The Hydras, they're not that impressive. You got Abducts on the Ghosts to try and target the big units. That was a really cool move. You don't see Abducts on Ghosts too often. Drop at the top right, finds not much to defend it, but the Lings now spawned will hop on top of this. And it does suck that he's only on +2 weapons. I think this is something for Raynor that surprises me a little bit, especially with someone who puts a lot of emphasis on his Zerglings. 653 of them died without +3 weapons this game. And the +3 armor adds into that, but Refinery is going to burn down here in a second. Kind of awkward. Should be a bigger explosion when you think about it. Well, we got scans continuing to just kind of look around the map and try and find where Raynor's at, but 3 Vipers is going to be an interesting aspect to this. Blinding Clouds I don't think will be a big deal. Can't really grab, like there's not a bunch of tanks you're going to be blind, and Marines and Marauders can just stim out of it, so that's where abducts get really interesting. And we saw abducts on the Ghosts, which is, by the way, credit to your micro-targeting. They're such skinny, small units with hard-to-hit hitboxes, but if you can grab the Ghosts and stop them from using their snipes on things like Ultras, then more power to the Vipers. Ooh, this was a base he wanted to float over and establish. That's not going to happen. The SCVs rally into the death jaws of that Ultralisk. There's those abducts I was talking about. He does throw an EMP down despite dying. That was kind of a cool move, but the energy had already been used, so ultimately a little bit useless. But Ghosts are expensive. Planetary's up. Baneling's going to crash into this bad boy, but not before looking for the SCVs to stop the repair. Another base goes down for Sol. The bunker with it, too. Right side command center. Actually, that landed? Alright. Picks it up now. The Hydras will chip away at it. They've got +1 weapons. We got +2 also on the way. No +3 for melee, but another base going to go down. Sol is just to the war of attrition losing this game more than anything else. That is now 2 command centers, 2 orbitals, and 3 planetary fortresses that have died this game. That is so much money if you add that up. Confidence brews in young Raynor, though. He's feeling good about his position. The Banelings finish up. It's a fight on creep. Tanks are sieged up, though, so a lot of the Banelings get sniped off, but I don't know if it's enough of Banelings that get sniped off. The Ultra's gonna have to push back. It was soaking hits. Unfortunately, now it's Raynor who's in retreat. Still, though, with more production, more money, he'll be able to reinforce a lot better than Sol. That's what I was saying earlier when Sol was back up on 125 something supply. Like, if he took a fight that could win the game, he might be able to propel that forward. But good game. Well played, ladies and gentlemen. Raynor, not so surprisingly, but awesomely, will qualify into Ting Season 5. But that's not the end. We have one more best of 5. Bly and Geralt have been waiting on us. Now that's going to be a PVZ over there. Geralt's actually a pretty good guy if you haven't seen him before. I think I favor Bly ever so slightly, but Geralt did notably beat a laser to get here. So this is an interesting best of 5, but it will be the last one. So sit tight, guys. I'm going to go to a break. I got to refill my water anyways. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Took a little bit, not a lot, a little bit longer than expected. But we're in the lobby now for Lost and Found. It's Bly versus Geralt. And let's get into it. Thank you, Prince Morganti, by the way, for the 53 months. Appreciate it. All right, folks, welcome back. Ting Season 5 qualifiers wrap up with this last best of 5 match. This season of Ting is also brought to you in part thanks to the folks over at Hover. You can check out Hover on hover.com/basetrade, or no, that's wrong. Hover.com/BTTV. See down there. But spawning here at the bottom left, we have the red Zerg. It's Bly. In the top right, the excuse me, the blue Protoss Geralt. As I was speaking, I read this comment from Oak Warrior saying, "I haven't laughed this hard since 2017." In response to what Mr. Geekart said, and he said, "Stim pack increases the Marines' fire rate. How come the weapon gets the drug?" Dude, clearly it's a semi-automatic gun. Right, and they're just pulling the trigger really fast. Has nothing to do with the gun. The brains are just like squeezing that trigger like crazy fast. That's what the drug does. Basetradetv, are you still afraid of the capital C? What? I'm not sure I know this meme, so I'm gonna say no because I fear nothing. Except for heights and bats. Thank you. Zipserium, thank you for the 41-month resub. So let's talk a little bit about the players, since not everyone here is going to be fully aware. Most of you know Bly. If you don't know Bly, I'm a little surprised, and shame on you. Tisk tisk, because I wave my finger. But Geralt's a player who, we've had a lot of controversy on how to pronounce his name. I'm just going with Geralt because I like The Witcher, but he's played in a lot of our tournaments at this point. It's fair to say he's more than just like a once-in-a-while player. He's really good at PvZ too, which is why I'm not so surprised he defeated a laser, although it is still surprising that a laser was defeated. Either way, Geralt will put up quite the show here versus Bly. I think my heart goes with Bly 100%, but my head actually says Geralt might take this with a, I'm going to say 3-1, because Bly tends to not die without a fight. Someone says they'll be organizing. I can't read your name, it's too bright. I'll be organizing Thanksgiving this year for the first time. What heat should I turn on for the God damn, how /ban. What's this guy's name? Tim Young? Tong Myung? Get out of here. I thought this was going to be a real thing I could talk about because Canadian Thanksgiving's already done and passed. Then you had to go and flame me like that. Overlord from Bly will confirm that's a Stargate without seeing the Stargate. This is a little tough though because double Stargate, well, it's kind of fallen out of popularity. It's still very much something Protoss players will do. And the Overlord not confirming that it's 1 versus 2 is a little tough, but Bly's also a very smart player, so he might not need to actually see it. At least just chip away the rocks. This actually isn't a big deal right now or immediately, but it's something that will help out engagements later on, especially once third base is established. You want to do those run bys. Kind of a cool move. Bly, I think, has earned a lot of our love for doing crazy, funny things, whether it's with a Nidus Worm or Overlord drops and all-ins, but the fact that he's already knocking out these rocks, I like a lot, because it tells me he's thinking about the possible late game. This is not an engagement path he'll have the freedom to open up later very easily, so by taking it out now, this invests in his future in a weird way. Ravier wants to know, is Canadian Thanksgiving like American Thanksgiving? Like, it's basically the same thing, where the original meaning of it doesn't really matter and everyone just wants an excuse for a holiday where they can eat food together, right? Because let's be real, how many people... You know what? I regret it, because as soon as I start asking this, I know you're all gonna lie and start talking about cooking your chickens in the oven, you fucking idiots. But how many people actually sit there and like on Thanksgiving, they're like, oh, thank God for the Pilgrims of Plymouth Rock. And, you know, basically the mass genocide America performed, taking over the country. Like, no, it was just like, oh, I'm thankful for family and Instagram and let's eat. Etching the probe on the transfer's not bad. He's not really going to have a comfortable time taking on the Adepts with the Oracle nearby. If this was just the Adepts, Bly could commit to this, but realizing the Oracle would fry him alive, he starts backing out of there. Geralt's gone for a Templar Archives. Not a Dark Shrine. Looks like he'll want a couple Archons in play, but with Charge Lots being the priority, a Warp Prism coming out so late, we're not going to see that typical double Archon drop. But hopefully we'll still see some kind of harass, because right now, while he's doing a pretty good job deflecting, he's still not really doing anything to pressure Bly. So we do have some Zealots walking by the south side of the map. A Warp Prism sets up on the top side. A couple of Warp-ins over there. Oh, it is Archons. Interesting. I thought this was just planning ahead for Storm. Alright. Geralt goes for the north attack. Bly's not really prepped for this. If the Hydras were already out, this wouldn't be so bad, but unfortunately Zerglings and even Queens are not terribly good at dealing with Archons. Zealots are going to reveal themselves prematurely, so he could cancel this to the south. You don't reenact the Trail of Tears with your local reservation, Basetradetv? Well, no, especially because I'm from Canada. Stop talking about cooking chickens. Oh my god. Parliamentary Penguin. Who is this that has a chicken emote like this in Twitch chat, and why do they have it? Another attempt at a run by. Grabs a couple of probes. Bly at some point gets in here with Banelings. He does a lot of damage, but for now, because it's just been links, it's been kind of weak. Oh, he grabs another probe on the way out. Wait, someone else has chicken emotes too? Okay, I thought it was weird that we have a chicken emote at all. Oh my god, someone has a chicken hypers? Okay, who has chicken emotes? I don't care what streamer it's from. If you got chicken-related emotes in the Twitch chat, I want to see them. I want to see how many different type of chicken emotes people have prepped and ready. This is a weird thing to have an emote of. I didn't even make the one that we have. That was 47ness. Oh shit! Today's October 15th! Okay, so there's a lot to talk about in a few moments, but because there's nothing happening immediately before Storm's done, one of my favorite artists, I've met this guy a couple years back, apparently, Dom. You've probably seen his emotes on various channels. He is one of like the most prolific emote artists on Twitch, at least one of my opinion. He told me, after years of nagging him, he would finally let me throw money at him to make an emote for Basetradetv in a month, 1 month ago. I even marked it down. On October 15th, Dom has to let me throw money at him. So I need your guys' ideas for good emotes, because while I've been excited and waiting for this day, it now occurs to me as I look at all your various chicken emotes, and you guys have a lot of chicken emotes. I don't know what emote to get made. Busting through this is a little bit tough. Those Storms do a good job. Oh, nice Archon merge at the very last second there. But these Storms did a good job pushing off the Hydras. This allowed Geralt to get a few more seconds to do warp-ins, or hopefully get his army back home and in position, but not willing to use a recall. He's still walking back with the Immortals, so the Hydras continue to put on the pressure. The shield batteries are out of juice. The probe line is starting to suffer here a little bit, but Geralt should be able to fend this off. You hear a giant question mark in the way I say that, though, because It's been awkward for him to get back to these minerals and defend this. Still, though, for Bly, as we look at the resources lost, not a bad trade at all. A little bit late on upgrades, but moving towards the 4th. Yeah, he's building extractors now. The drones will transfer soon. Make a warty lion emote. I could make a warty lion emote, man. Get out of town. Oh, what is this one? Bach, really? Ooh. That's like unsettling. Now, this is where upgrades really hurt Bly. If he had +2 melee, he would have one-shot all these probes, and this would have been like actually every probe dead. Getting 8 is still not terrible, but ultimately that's where the attack ends. Geralt's also replacing a lot of his lost buildings through SimCity, so Bly just can't barrel through with a couple more bandlings. I like this. But Bly also swapped out. He pulled a bamboozle move, guys. 18 Mutalisks are building up behind this, and Geralt has invested in so much through Immortals, through Templar, which I guess you could technically Storm, but point is he doesn't have reliable anti-air, so the Mutalisk swap here is going to be sick. Banelings are finding their way past the pylon into the mineral line. The probes are pulled away, though. Archon body blocks, and ooh, the big bamboozle. The big Bambino! Bly flies in with these Mutalisks, and there's actually nothing to shoot back. Trying to merge an Archon doesn't work. The Mutas pick it off immediately. The Phoenix fly back, but GG's get called. Geralt knows his time is up. And Bly walks out of here with game number 1. That was a real slick move with the Mutas, by the way. It's risky to do in some cases, but in this situation, that worked out basically perfectly. Now, it will be up to Geralt on what map 2 will be. It's his pick. Let's see what we get into here for game 2. I gotta tell you guys, I know that we got the Alima League tomorrow, but there's 2 days I have off before I fly to Chicago, and I really hope that in these next 3 days, I can fully heal. Because the last thing I want to do is get on this plane and get sick all over again for BlizzCon and TwitchCon. I feel a little bit lame saying this. I don't really care so much about BlizzCon. It's more the same. I love BlizzCon, but because I'm not casting and I'm not working there, it's not a big deal. But TwitchCon is like where all my friends are going. It's all the other streamer people I love interacting with, so I really don't want to get sick for TwitchCon. Also, well, okay, I'll hold this question for now. We're hopping into Cerulean Fall. See you guys in game. Oh, I am having an angry man dilemma. I'm on the wrong scene. I can't press any of the right goddamn buttons today. I'll explain my dilemma here in a moment, but let's do the intros first. Spawning in the lower left, kicking off game 2, we have the red Protoss Geralt. To the top right, we got the blue Zerg. It's none other than Bly. And Gearbox, thank you for the 3-month resub. What's Flotch say? Flotch says, Basetradetv, I was thinking recently, how interesting would it be if a reward for the winner of the Ting, on top of cash, you gave out an oven that could reach for 25 Celsius. Is this like my getting gnomed? Is that what this has become? This isn't even that funny. Like, I hate you guys. I hate you guys almost as much as I hate this spoon I'm using right now. This is where I'm getting mad, alright? We're going Rifkin cam for this. Hang on. Webcam. I don't want it to be big. Okay, it's small. Look at this bullshit, right? Hang on. So this is my breakfast slash lunch. I know, I live a spoiled life. I don't know if you can see this. The corner of this pudding cup doesn't line up with a spoon. There's empty space. I can't scrape out the corners. I'm fucking so mad right now. There's just so much wasted pudding. What am I supposed to do? Just throw it out? I'm not that rich. You see the stream donation goal? It's like, give me $3. I can't afford to throw out pudding. Perfectly good pudding like that. But I'm also not willing to use my finger that I'm gonna have to then touch my mouse with to observe the game like you guys are suggesting, like it's such an easy solution. It's just so wasteful. So angry. And it's not the pudding cup's fault. I've got a weird flat oval spoon. Who makes a spoon like this? Why did I buy a spoon like this? I'm questioning a lot of my life choices right now, frankly. Wait until the end of the cast. But by the end of the cast, it's gonna be like all warm and room temperature. Who the fuck eats like pudding like that? I'm at a loss. So frustrating. Put it in the oven at 425 celsius. So the probe comes across the map. It did get a scout for Bly and on his bases, and he did see the third. That's about it. Not a lot else to really see. I mean, it's still early in the series because it's a best of 5 and not a best of 3. Geralt is in no real immediate danger. I gotta say though, this is kind of a cool qualifying match, all things considered. Because for Bly, like, he plays in a lot of our stuff, so you kind of have a lot of bias towards him if you just watch a lot of Basetradetv. So Geralt's a weird underdog in that regard, but whether it's Bly or whether it's Geralt, I think it'll certainly influence heavily what our invites look like. If we have a majority Zerg bracket, which, by the way, seems to be the case so far, we're going to be more inclined to invite players who are Protoss or Terran to fill in the gaps. Whereas if Geralt qualifies, suddenly we have the option of inviting various different Zergs. Either way, Ting Open Season 5 is going to be interesting. Well, if he's picking off the Overlord, he's going to push that scout right out of the base. Ling's surrounding the Adept as it plays Ring Around the Rosie. Don't quite get the kill, although they should know. Gearbox, thank you for the $10. What's this say? For proper silverware and some real food. Mate. I could never trust spoons again. But I do appreciate the $10. Thank you very much. That is 3 times the donation goal. We are 300% exceeded our expectations. Thank you guys. Well, thank you, Gearbox. Why did I say guys? It's just Gearbox. The rest of you suck. The rest of you didn't give me $3. God. Freaking idiots. Tina? That's a second Stargate command Geralt, by the way. So I had referenced this in game 1. Going back to highlight it, though, it's really not the thing everybody is doing anymore. It's still a build, I think, in the back pocket of players like, well, obviously Geralt here, for example, but I'm not convinced by it. The problem with the double Stargate isn't its lack of power, right? Phoenixes, Oracles, whatever the hell you want to pump out of this, they're going to do well. It's the fact that they are so limited on what they can do that the game becomes a lot about the player's decision making. And as we've seen a lot of times in StarCraft 2, sometimes it's the player behind the units that is the worst part about the game. So a lot of these throws happen, right? So it's something where you now have to rely on Geralt to make sure he nails the pickups, he's not frivolously picking up the wrong thing, he saves enough energy for battles. Phoenixes are strong and they are powerful, but I think they're also very often left out in the middle of the map uncontested, unpaid attention to as Hydras walk under them and pick them all off, right? Like, we've all seen that dozens of times. Digletto says, while you were talking about your damn spoon and pudding, you failed to observe the amazing move by Bly where he made Geralt cook his probe at 425. Yeah, well, I'm just not reading comments anymore. Don't at me. Like, literally, don't at me. I'm just not even going to read these comments anymore. A lot of the time, I like it because it's like we could talk about and help include people who aren't following what's going on. No. Big run by hitting the third base. Now the force field tries to stop this, the Oracle as well, but Bly is really committing to killing this Nexus, and that's a big cancel. Bly loses a lot of Zerglings to do this. On the other side of the map, though, he is also bleeding on some drones. 6 go down, and more notably, all the gas mining drones. Like, Geralt very particularly picked those ones off. I'm really okay. So there are like 19 people tagging me in Twitch chat right now, and I'm hesitant to read any of these comments. Luke Bomber needs a ban. Can we get like a permanent 17-year ban on Luke Bomber? Don't at me to tell you you like pineapple on pizza. That's just as bad as the copy pasta. Official Kitaru says I have the same glasses as you. Oh, that's cool, I guess? Question mark. You know, it's so weird. I think my strangest interaction of all time was learning that good old Hart. If you guys remember Hart from Axiom back in the day, he has the exact same glasses prescription as me. It's not so strange to find somebody with similar glasses. It's really weird to find somebody with a similar prescription, though. Oh, someone actually banned Luke Bomber. Nice. Sorry, Luke Bomber. Flotch, I'm super not even going to read what you said. I really, of all people in chat, I trust you the least. In fact, there's only one way I can... Hang on. There we go. This will fix the problem. Alright. Those Phoenix are, they really want to get in here. I like the way he's camping the larva on the south side where the spore crawlers don't cover it, but now there is a significant amount of Hydras and Queens out, and it will not be difficult to shoo off the Phoenix. However, Geralt didn't use this map control, I think, to really extend his lead. And that's why I think this build starts working out not well based on some of the decision making. Oh, we got some Bree T poses in the chat. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Bree's like one of my favorite people. Those are good emotes to see in the chat. Had Geralt taken a 4th base, I think he would have had the freedom to do this too. Like, I know he struggled at the 3rd and Blythe did that run by, right? But don't be too distracted by the fact that it was only one attack. After that, he was easily able to fall back, and I think taking a 4th base would have been a nice lead. Also, it's Colossus. I didn't even catch this till just now. It's just, I'm so not used to looking for them. Nobody does Colossus, but Colossus are coming out 2 at a time for Geralt. He'll probably make some disruptors after. I think 3 seems to be where a lot of Protoss stop. But while not necessarily back in the meta, and Colossus aren't a super normalized thing to play, they are still really good in some situations. And in this situation, he just wants to fry up the light units that are threatening his Phoenix, so Hydras will die to Colossus pretty well. It's going up to 4, though. The problem, one of the bigger highlight problems of Colossus, though, is through all of their various changes, they've never got any less clunky, and they've never gotten any less clumsy. So it's a little bit difficult using them sometimes. Like right here, for example, they just shot one single Zergling down. Also missing the cancel. That's a kill. Geralt out 400 minerals from that small mistake. Oh, cool. I have been muted. Alright, guys. I'm going to take sub-only mode off because I just goofed. I don't even know where I stopped talking. I had a big cough attack. I don't remember where I stopped talking. But TLDR, you just witnessed why Colossus aren't really that popular to go for anymore. With so many Phoenix out and some Stalkers on the ground, you'd think, oh, there's no way Blythe could just dive in with Corruptors and pick off the Colossus. But instead, Blythe just dives in with the Corruptors and picks off the Colossus. It was a cool little bit of Warp Prism Micro to save it, of course, but ultimately, yeah, Colossus are still not great. Although, in this situation, that's a good force field wall. Now the Colossus could actually shoot the other side of it. They are instead shooting the hatchery, which I do not agree with, Geralt. He is, however, preoccupied trying to deal with the Corruptor, so I don't blame him. He does kill the base, walks away. I'm not sure if we'll see a recall. And this is force fielding to cover his retreat. All right, not a bad choice. 19 drones and a hatchery dead is a good attack for our Protoss. We could not tell you that you were muted because we are in emote-only mode. Look, I am aware. I stopped talking when Mech Xavier donated. Oh, okay. Well, Mech Xavier, thank you for the $3. I'll read your message again in a moment, but hang on, watching the attack from 2 angles, Geralt does hold this off. I can't believe this boy has any force fields left, though. Those sentries are pretty much dead, both in health and energy, but those force fields on the other side of the map, combined with the ones here to defend, pretty critical to stopping this from getting too out of hand. But Gearbox donated $3. He said, here's to starting the $3 tip chain so Riff can buy some proper spoons and show them us on stream. To which I kind of quipped at, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, go on Amazon and shop spoons with you guys? But it is a karma thing, I believe. Nexus gets sniped, Bly walks away from this. So, hey, that's tit for tat right there as the bases both go down for these players. Unfortunately, Geralt does not lose a lot of probes the same way Bly lost drones. Oh, Caustic Spray looking to kill another Nexus. I'm not sure if this actually has enough damage in time or not. But anyways, this is like karma, right? So I've got another streamer friend. I've hosted her a couple times. You've probably seen her, Nikki Taylor. And I have been giving her like a lot of shit lately about cups. I don't know if it's weird or not, if it's just me. How many people here like drink out of mason jars or just jars in general? Because like she does, and it bothers me. It shouldn't, it's not a big deal, but I've been giving her shit basically about not being able to afford cups, saying we need to start donation goals for cups. And now with this spoon fucking thing, I guess it's just like I deserve it. I want to argue with it, but as I think back to my recent actions, I'm like, yeah, okay, that sounds about right. I know a bar that gives you water and stuff in jars. See, that's weird to me. Like, to me, that's just like, what, you ate all the jam and you're too poor to buy new cups, so you need like a jar? You keep the jar to drink out of? Like, I don't know. I'm being really judgy for no reason, by the way. There's no legitimate reason to hate people who drink out of jars. It's weird to me is all. Anyways, the Corruptors are still dancing around. Bly didn't, he did a little bit of damage down here. He got that base over here, but as we can see, the damage has been covered, and Geralt is sitting with like was almost like an abnormally large amount of Colossus, like to where I would argue there's too many in play. I almost wish there was a couple Disruptors instead. But the beauty is the Colossus army, even though it can't be sniped off by the Corruptors, is still pretty strong. It's got a lot of health. It can deal a ton of damage. And Bly's ground army is staying away from this for good reason. This is not an army he wants to commit to fighting until those Colossus numbers are thinned out just a little bit. Hey, Rapture SC, thank you for that Twitch Prime sub. Hopefully you'll see some of these guys in the great beyond. Bly picking off all the Colossus now. With those being gone, now the Hydras and Queens move into position, but still 3 Colossus stand. And until those are fully gone, I don't know how safe you'll feel about committing. I said safe really weird just now. Slap at the safe. A slap at the base. Ooh, storms are plentiful, but these Queens, they don't get the transfuse because feedbacks are smacking them down. Bly's down to 24 army supply. No hopes in this game. Geralt will tie up the series 1-1. Got another donation right there at the end. $3 from Seldrick. He says, there is no spoon. Well, let's see, this is why we have the Ace Fork emote. Alright guys, I'm gonna play some commercials so I can afford to buy some spoons. Thank you for the $3. I'll see you guys soon. We are going to game 3. The map is Dreamcatcher. And who subbed? Killer1516123. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Almost feels like I'm singing a song shouting that out. But I have something very important I need to do during the course of this game. So I will be... Let's do the intros first. I think I can set up a camera follow command to work. In the top left, we have, playing here in the qualifying match, the Red Zerg, Bly. And his opponent on the lower right just tied things up 1-1. We have Geralt. Okay, I'm going to follow Bly's Overlord for a second. No, I'm going to follow Geralt's Probe for a second. And then can I game capture this program? Will that work? No. Unfortunately, it won't. Alright, well, with the display capture being broken, maybe I can display capture the other monitor. Nope. Cool, display capture is broken. Alright, so you guys don't get to see what I'm doing behind the scenes, and that's fine. Although I could do this. Greatest screen capture of all time. Alright. Very important to me. Oh, the probe died, I think. That's what it sounded like, so I'll have to find something else to follow here in a second. Let me just tab in real quick and do that. Because there's a proxy hatchery. There's actually stuff going on. This is not the game I should be goofing around on. Yikes. Yikes.jpg. Alright, so Bly's proxy is annoying, but looks like Geralt dealt with this appropriately. You pull 7 probes, otherwise it's not enough to actually out-damage the hatchery here. As it builds, he goes for an extractor. Continue to be very annoying. Oh, this is a really shitty spoon. Alright, that's a little bit better, I suppose. Here, you guys can use this when I'm muted on stream, okay? This will be the new emote. It looks so bad. I actually can't commit to this. It looks so bad. Bly went for another proxy hatchery. I'm sorry. Again, this is the game I shouldn't be goofing around with, but I'm delirious from being sick, so it is what it is. Another bold move, but it is shut down. And for Bly, this is a pretty interesting commitment, right? He hasn't lost a hatchery. He didn't forget to cancel one, so he's not out the money it costs to build it, but still in the hole for a considerable amount of cash just from the amount it still costs to cancel it. As the links come across the map too, there's going to be a zealot but no wall, so they should be able to walk around a little bit unless this probe comes on over and throws a gateway down. It'd be kind of annoying. Anyways, the other part to highlight, sorry, I was trying to get into, is the income. It's still surprising, but it's really good for Bly, despite having less workers. And that's the cost of having to constantly keep 7 or so probes pulled off to deal with the hatchery. Once the Zealot came out, it's a little bit easier, but there was some really slick probe micro out of Geralt, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw, he actually targeted to mineral walk through the low probes. What I think for most players in an A-move situation would have been like 5 or more probes dead, ends up barely being 2. Not even getting a third one here at the end. Really good control out of Geralt. Did you just draw a 16k emote? It's such quality. Yeah, dude. I should start signaturing that with like little pixels in the bottom right. 16k so people know. Which emote will we lose? Oh, we don't have to lose any. We have open emote slots. They deleted Ace SS and the Supply Depot one this morning. Because I've been talking about getting rid of the Ace SS for a while, but I just frankly kept forgetting to. It's not even like that was bad. It's just like it was a year overdue anyways. Well, that's a nice removal of the Overlord to scout. Of Where's SDF? The bot stopped glitching out with SDF like 3 weeks ago, so I just got rid of it. SDF will always be in our hearts, guys. Like, a lot of you guys think that we set that emote up, or that command up. Like, I still to this day don't know what caused it. Like, I never entered in any timed command for SDF. The bot just spewed it out for some reason. It's great. The weirdest glitch that became a cult classic for no good reason. Although that does pretty much stay in line with pretty much everything on this channel. That's an normally large amount of queens. Certainly got to be a little aware of this as Geralt flies back. Joro, thank you for the bits. He says, get rid of my last 200 bits. I am glad. I will happily accept your garbage bits. Thank you. But anyways, emotes come and go, guys. Sometimes you'll be happy with them. A lot of the times you won't. One thing I've learned in 6 years of streaming is that you can't please everybody all the time. And even though emotes are used, some of the emotes that I've removed in the past had less than 5 uses per month. People would be rioting that we got rid of them. So I pardon the caustic, toxic response of not giving a fuck. SDF may be in our heart, but not in our memes. Feels bad. Yo, it's funny. Like Xavier says, if we had more $3 donations to buy spoons, this wouldn't be a problem. If we had more $5 donations in form of subs, it wouldn't be either. We'd have all the emote slots. I wouldn't have to delete anything. I miss First Blood too, but honestly, like, we haven't done First Blood in so long, and it's not something I really care to bring back. But honestly, I think First Blood was really the first channel meme. Because I was doing First Blood before we even had, like, map intros. Really? Jeez, just thinking, that's really long ago. Anyways, roaches coming out of Bly, a lot of them. 2 Stargates were the established thing to do this game, and a robo to follow it up. Geralt might be feeling very confident about doing a move like this because it did, on a very technical level, work last game, but I don't think it was really the Stargate element of it that did it. It was that robo follow-up. And if Bly doesn't go for Hydras, then the Colossus don't have a lot of power through the robo, so it's a lot of things to consider, but Geralt, regardless, controlling the map, grab a couple roaches here, not aware that there's a lot more over there. The A Salute Smiley got a lot of love from the Age of Empires 2 stream yesterday. Oh, did you stream Age of Empires 2 or something? Ronan. Man, I used to play Age of Empires a lot back in the day. Got a lot of fond memories of that, but... Ooh, not gonna get the Nexus kill. He's fighting with the army best he can, but these Phoenix are starting to run out of energy, so they can't lift everything here up. Bly takes control of the ground. As he takes control of the ground, he'll then be able to kill this Nexus. So, this is a bit tough. Geralt just simply doesn't have the energy to kill everything, and that's a base snipe for Bly. Now he sits here a little dumbfounded, perhaps thinking like, wait, I wasn't expecting to get out of here with any units alive, but 4 Lings survived the Battle of the Third and head back home. 4th base also thrown up for Bly while this went on. A lot of creeps spread to see these attacks coming, and while the Phoenix are still very much a big problem, and there's not really reliable anti-air on the field yet, it's still a lot of queens. They'll be covered by what is soon to be Hydralisks, and I think this complementary force will deal with the Phoenix. But the question is, how much does he commit to the Hydras? Kind of noting again that it was because Bly went mass Hydras the Colossus had power that game. We wouldn't see Colossus come out and be as powerful if it's not massive amounts of Hydras. I just happened to get lost in one and I used it and everybody loved it. Oh, you were like watching someone else's stream. Oh, that's cool. Man, I always get this nostalgia like itch. I want to go back and play Age of Mythology and Warcraft 3 really bad sometime. Because those 2 games were like a lot of my childhood. Age of Mythology was super cool to me. There's also this game called Pharaoh, I remember vaguely. I played a lot of that too. Well, nice cleanup out of Geralt as he does keep his 3rd base coming up this time around. Bly's little roach here. It's an army of Phoenix following it from above, stalking from the skies. I think that's one of their lines, right? Like, I stalk from the skies or shadows or fuck, now I don't even remember what the line is. So forget it, forget it. I tried to do something cool there. It was a mistake. Immediately regretted it. Duddle says, I played this game a lot. I doubt you've heard of it, though. It's called Half-Life. That sounds like a really cool game. This sounds like the kind of game that deserves not just a sequel, but like a sequel to the sequel. So like not a 4-part series, not a 2-part series, but something in between. Ooh. Those force fields cut the Hydras in half. That makes the front line vulnerable to the Phoenix. But the Queens have got some range to them, and they will help protect us a little bit. He's going to try and knock down the rocks to free the Hydras. I think walking away from this is definitely the right move, though. Either way, once the rocks are down, he'll have a really wide engagement area. And the Phoenix, the Colossus, they are relying on force fields primarily. In a bigger open engagement like this, I don't know if there's enough surface area or enough force fields to cover all the surface area. Either way, the Queens are on the front lines with a lot of transfuses, meaning they can keep themselves healed up for a long time. Phoenixes are slowly getting picked off and shipped away. Bly with the roaches targeting down the Colossus. That's an army supply that just can't be matched. The Colossus walks and rallies into them. 18 army supplies is all that's left for Geralt, but I think when this third base died, that was when the game truly came to an end. And he's been a dead man walking for the past 4 minutes. GG's, well played. Bly will now take a 2-1 lead here in this best of 5. Now, of course, it's not over yet. Geralt still has another game to bounce back on. I'm trying to upload this stupid spoon emote and see if it'll even finish before the stream's done. Here's my partner dashboard. Twitch keeps moving stuff. I can never remember where anything is. Alright, there we go. What's a good... Okay, I need some suggestions from chat, right? What's... I need a good emote code for this no spoon emote that is just like gonna be super out of context for anybody who ever sees it. A spoon, a spork. Where's your hat? I was hanging on the wall. Squeeze me. Nope, that camera angle's still not right. This is the problem. This is why I can't move my camera. I can never remember where I put it back. I'll spend like 5 hours just like constantly adjusting it a little bit at a time. Ugh. Why do we not see any ads? Here, have a 30-second commercial if this even plays. Ads have been so fucked the last 3 days. Yeah, it says it's playing. I have no idea if it's actually playing. I like that one. Ace Poon. That sounds a little rude, but... Ace Poon. A spoon. The map is Parasite. See you guys in the game. Alright, folks, putting the goofs and the gaps on a little bit of a pause, because this is Match Point. Getting into game number 4 in this best of 5. Our Protoss player in the top left is on his last life. We have the red Protoss Geralt, Slayer of a Laser. Oh, no, don't have the hiccups now. In the bottom right, we have the red, nope, the blue Zerg, although it be Ace Red, I suppose it's Bly. Oh, no, come on. 2 hiccups is bad. Don't give me a third one. Oh, I can't deal with that today, guys. Anyways, the emote is uploading. We'll see if that gets done before the end of the stream today. Hold your breath. Dude, I've heard all these life hacks for fixing hiccups, right? Hold your breath, get scared, drink water, do something upside down, touch your nose. Like, I swear, none of them work. They're just like placebos, and it eventually just goes away on its own. See? Look. Did none of those things? Only 2 hiccups. Easy. Ooh. Okay. Bit of an unnecessary surround, but once again, we have a proxy hatchery coming down out of Bly. Now, as the drone had left the far left side of the map, I think we kind of expected this to happen. Pulls the probes to deal with it. And for Bly, okay, let's consider this for a minute. We can actually take the math on it. When he cancels this, that's like, what, 75 minerals I think you lose? All right. In the process of the barely minute that these probes have been pulled away, Bly has gained like 2.5 times the cost of canceling that hatchery just by wasting the time of those probes, not mining, and trying to cancel the hatchery. Which, by the way, he needs to do. If you let the hatchery finish, it's even worse. So it's such a weird thing to consider. You almost got to wonder like why Protoss don't do this more consistently, or excuse me, why Zerg don't do this more consistently. And I'd actually love to ask Bly that directly, but this for Geralt was an expensive pull to stop the hatchery. Now that the Zealot's out, he doesn't have to pull all the probes, but he still have to pull a couple, otherwise you can't out TPS the rate at which the hatchery builds. See, you guys got me so on edge now. Mech Xavier just now wrote something totally normal, but I was apprehensively reading it, waiting for the 425 Celsius joke to come through at some point. Like, my wife said the same thing about getting rid of hiccups. The best way to get rid of hiccups is to boil them at 425 degrees Celsius. It's fucking awful because I'm stupid. I'm ruined. You've ruined me, dear Twitch chat. Ranged 777 asks, yo, Rifkin, just wondering, how often do you play StarCraft and what race do you play? You know what I really hate here is I'm about to give you a very serious answer, but it's one that comes with preface and explanation. I should be able to say enough and Terran, but I can't. So I play Terran. I play all races. Protoss perhaps least efficiently. But my Terran and my Zerg are pretty good. As far as how often do I play, that depends on what you want to know for play. If you're referring to 1v1 ladder, the answer is not often. Rare to not often. Although I did stream that one really sick game 3 days ago? Hey, I do play co-op almost daily, and I like playing arcade games every once in a while too. So, I play StarCraft often, but I play the ladder probably the least. In fact, if someone wants to go stalk my match history, you'll see I've got a significant amount of losses despite that claim just now, but that's because I hate playing TVT. When I go to queue up on the ladder, I get that itch to play ladder for one time and ever. TVT, leave. TVT, leave. TVT, leave. TVT, leave. TVT, leave. 7 games later, I finally get a game that I want to play. Like, yeah. Bang Doza says, enjoyed playing co-op that night with you. Oh, hey, did we play one of those nights? That's cool, dude. I love doing co-op. Do you play any fighting games? No, but I play a survival game. It's called Life, and it sucks. Do not recommend it. Although the board game's a much more fun version for sure. Well, getting back to the game, slower, boring opener after the hype hatcheries did lead to a dark shrine, which I think I saw. We just now saw the corpse of the Zergling, so it's not going to be any surprise that DTs won't be in play. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be DTs, it will likely be Archons that Bly will be tussling with here, but there still could be some players will warp in the 4 DTs, go for the attack first, then make the Archons afterwards, and Bly doesn't have a lot of detection. Spore Crawler's enough for now, I suppose. But he's going for a drop Overlord a bit in response to this, and he's going to be dropping a couple Zerglings into the main base by the looks of things. A second Warp Prism, though. Oh, this scout is huge. Seeing a second Warp Prism on the map is going to make Bly not perhaps feel so comfortable moving around. Now, the Overseer comes over here just in time. The Spore Crawler does go down, but detection won't be the issue for the DTs. Lings go up to the main base, and maybe Bly saw the second Warp Prism, but didn't register the second Warp Prism. This is a problem for his 4th base. I heard Life is a co-op mode. No, dude, I'm single. Thanks for reminding me. Twice now I've cried on stream. I told myself I wouldn't do this. Let's get to the main base. And the probes are killed just like my dreams of ever having a family. I'm so alone. No, the probe kills actually aren't that great. Grab about 4, maybe 5 or 6 now. Actually, as these ones are a little bit complacently not pulled immediately. But while this goes on, the DTs made it back to the base. However, 2 of the DTs actually die here. So while they get 7 drones, and that's nice, that's one less Archon he'll be able to warp in. And of course, it's the merging of the Archons that makes these warp prisms so painful, not the DT element of it. I don't want a family, I just want frottage, says Frologustin. What is a frottage? Like, Google this one up? I don't know. I don't even want a family, guys. I just want someone I can feel comfortable farting in front of. That's what life's all about. It's not about riches and family. It's about being able to afford the guacamole and farting without feeling embarrassed about it. Life goals. Don't Google it? Alright, thank you, Crusher of Cities. Oh, this is a nice snipe on the pylon. This will depower 2 of the gateways. Have some more, but the probes are going to be the priority target here. There's an attack. Geralt's not going to fall back with this one. I like the idea. His logic probably right now is snipe the hatchery and then get out of there and recall. But Bly's army looks like it's a little too big and a little too strong. The Overseer sets up 2, so those DTs are dealt with immediately. The Archons are really powerful, but while this goes on, Geralt is losing everything in the main base of these roaches. And I don't mean a little bit, like everything is going down. We got the big recall bringing the army back, but the army that gets brought back is inside 2 warp prisms. Oh, that's awkward. The sentry gets sniped here too. Geralt is just having a not great time. Because as he cleans up the roaches, the reality of his situation is he's on 25 probes. Bly doesn't have to continue following this up with an attack, but he is mixing drones in with some roaches. He's got a 4th base reestablished, just now finishing up. To be honest, it's going to take a lot for Bly to throw this game. What the fuck kind of compliment is this? Basetradetv, you're not right often, but you're spot on about the partner for life part. Rifkin, you're mostly a piece of shit, but this one time you got it. Thanks. Appreciate it, man. Keep the compliments coming. Oh, the warp prism gets grabbed by the corrosive biles. That should not have happened. Geralt was trying to be too fancy, too fast, and too furious, but no amount of micro is going to save him in this game. And unfortunately, while he might have been able to defeat a laser, he does not appear to be able to defeat Bly. GG, ladies and gentlemen. Bly will be your second player. Oh, sorry. Bly will be your second player qualified into Ting Season 5 through the second qualifier. 4th player overall, second player through this qualifier. Very nicely done, Bly. Very nicely done. It's a lot of Zerg we're going to see in Season 5, but that's not so unexpected from Europe now, is it? Now, that's not the end of the show, but that is the end of the Ting Open Cast. So if you guys enjoyed this, I do hope you'll follow the tournament through to the main season, and I hope that we'll see you for more. If you guys missed out, by the way, I can't, screen regions aren't working. Screen regions aren't working, which kind of sucks, so I can't show you guys. But if you're not part of our Discord server, I would recommend being part of our Discord server. Not just because we're trying to build our community up and bullshit like that, but that is where we give out replay packs. If you're a subscriber, be sure to check the replay channel. All that good stuff. Hang on. Good. But gonna be not. Anyways, guys, I have a Patreon reward I'm about to go cast. It's from the user Hurt One. He's been Patreoning for a while now, so I'm gonna go get this replay sorted, and I'll be back in a sec with that. But if you came for the Ting Open and you enjoyed the qualifier I hope you hit the follow button before you take off if you haven't already. Thank you guys again all for joining today. But this is going to be one last StarCraft cast before I'm done. So a commercial to mask me looking for this replay. I'll see you guys soon. Okay, I'm back in hello. But we seem to be having some problems. Hurt one, are you still here? Let me show you what my issue is. When I load up your replay, because it's an older replay, you have to get an older version of the client. I can't access the replay without the client, and I can't log into the client because the older version seems to think that the BattleNet is down for maintenance, probably because it's not connected to it due to the fact that it's an older replay. So Hurt One, I love your face, my guy, but I need you to go. I don't think I can cast this one for you, so I'll just have to get you to do another one on another time or something. I'm gonna try one more thing, but right now it's not working, so just give me one more sec. If this still doesn't work, it's just because, like, if you guys haven't seen before, Blizzard doesn't exactly have super awesome backwards compatibility with some of the older out-of-date replays. You're supposed to be able to load this stuff up pretty easily. I'm going to try something else here. If it doesn't work, the Hurt One, you may have to just play a more recent game, and I'll have to cast it some other time. So give me a second while I fiddle and try to make this work. But it might not. Well, I've gone into offline mode now. So it shouldn't try to connect to the servers. It should hopefully just load straight into the game. Or just give me a black screen infinitely. Oh! Oh! I think we got it! No, we don't. Fuck. Hurt One, I think you may be SOL, my guy. Yeah. Alright, Hurt One, I love your face. You've seen that I've clearly put the effort into this. I'm not just trying to, like, cop out of this. Maybe it's just today. Maybe if I try and load this up tomorrow, it'll work. But if this is like one particular replay you like really, really want cast, I'll have to look into alternative solutions. I don't have them right now ready and available. So unfortunately, I think we're going to have to just say pass on this one. You know I would do this. I hope you know I would do this. I'm not trying to skimaz you here, but I think that's just going to have to be it for the stream today instead. Anyways, if you guys don't know about Patreon, there's a couple of cool reward tiers over there. Mostly if you are a subscriber to YouTube or you're just not somebody who cares much about giving Twitch money. For $1 cheaper than subscribing on Twitch, you can subscribe to the Patreon and get replay packs over there the same way we hand them out to our subscribers here on Twitch. Alternatively, as I said, there's some other things like, for example, I'll cast your replay once a month. Any replay you send me that works. There's like asterisk here. And if you're interested in any of that, be sure to check out patreon.com/Basetradetv. Otherwise, for people who are asking when are the finals, there are no finals. So if you're unfamiliar with what was happening, the top 2 players qualify through. Bly and Rainer qualified through. They don't actually have to play each other. There's no prize money. There's no point in playing another game. So that's the full conclusion of today's stream. Now, I would love to sit here and go do World of Warcraft or do some Beast of the Hills with you guys or something, but I actually have to go work on doing prize money payouts for Ting, or not for Ting, for BTSL Season 2 still. I didn't get a chance to do it last night because I was feeling particularly sick. I'm going to try to do that today, and hopefully I'll get everyone paid out, but on the off chance I don't, either way, I don't want to keep these guys waiting for their money longer than so. I will be back tonight. I think A, we should be with Zombie Grub, and B, if we're lucky, we'll see a little bit of front page time. But the Alima League will be back tonight. That's at 4 a.m. Pacific. So if you guys are StarCraft fans, you want to wake up super early, I hope to see you there. Do you not have a contact at Blizzard to whom you can reach out to regarding old replays? Phlogiston, Blizzard doesn't give a fuck about me, dude. And I don't think they have the staff to handle something like that on a whim. But it's cute that you think that they do. Anyways, I'm looking online who to host, and there's a couple of friends of mine I have that I would love to go pass some viewers off to, but I kind of also want to just like go host a smaller StarCraft streamer and maybe surprise somebody with a big host to make their day. So what do you guys think? Do you want me to option 1, host somebody of my choosing, or option 2, grab somebody here off the StarCraft list that's maybe a little bit lower down than normal? Host that one guy streaming the new RTS Fort 1 T5C. I don't know what that is. A lot of people saying to you, all right, I'm looking down the list. Now there's some familiar names on here. I'm trying to avoid people who I know are like streamers, who have a following, who have some subscribers. Maybe that I'll pick the wrong person anyways, but all the way at the bottom, we're looking for some people here with like 6 viewers. Who's this? Okay, it's a girl, so you guys are gonna get mad at me. What are they playing, the campaign? Oh, they don't speak English. Pass. Who else is on this list? That's got a. I'm basically looking at thumbnails. I'm like, who's got a decent looking overlay, right? Let's check out this guy. Average is his name. Oh, he's using a green screen. Also not English. He's got a decent looking setup though. Damn it, maybe I'll just pass this off to Namshar again or something. Hang on, one more try. One more try. I'm trying to fish out somebody here who's got a decent looking overlay off of the thumbnails. So people with 0 viewers? Ouch. There's actually surprisingly a lot of non-English streamers right now. It looks like a lot of German. Okay, this guy, you gotta be English. Your title's in English. He is. He's adorable. Okay, I don't know who this guy is. We're gonna go host Sleepwalker 92. Alright, so if you guys want to get over there now, there's Sleepwalker 92. Just spam in chat. He's playing oh, he's playing Terran! Hell yeah! Let's get over there. He's got a green screen. Give him some love. Thank you everybody for watching today. Let's just go with the host. See ya tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.